comment.
Wow.
Oh, that's weird.
That sucks.
Good disaster. This is a great way to start the stream.
what
Thank
happened-
you.
This is my fault for not testing this beforehand, because I switched from RTX Voice to NVIDIA's new Broadcast, which is the new full-fat version of RTX Voice. I forgot to reset some of the settings for
Can the stream
streaming.
hear you right now, or is this just a long
They can hear me. I
session?
fixed it. It's all good.
Okay.
You did say the stream couldn't hear you, so it's just like, are we just waiting here and the stream's
Yeah.
just seeing Colin
No,
just
no.
talk?
I'm talking. As soon as I began talking, as soon as I fixed my mic.
Mhm.
Hello, everyone. Hi,
Hello.
this is Nat Disaster. We're
Oops.
pretty
it's
on
working.
brand this morning.
You
But,
can tell.
yes.
You just said this morning. It's
Yeah.
6:13 at night.
It's what it
Morning,
is.
afternoon, evening, night. It's all just
no
time is
concept.
time is a construct. And hello, I am Brian Creevy. I'm the disaster master of this D&D
Yeah.
campaign. Half the time we talk about D&D, other times we just go off on tangents. So I hope you enjoy the
We just get
ride.
distracted. That's what
I
it
don't know.
is.
We stay pretty good on topic during campaign. We're
Stream.
bad at podcasts.
Now, if we want to start with the man with all the technical difficulties today, we have, I'm pointing in the correct direction, I assume,
It's
our
correct on my
tech
screen. Yep.
paladin.
Hi, I'm Colin Rose. I play Rain in this wonderful campaign. I'm sorry for the beginning technical issues. I did check to make sure things were working before we start, like I usually do. We drove 4.5 hours home from New York, so I got here at
Nope.
3:45, and then I had to take a shower, do the laundry, and a couple other things before session. Write a dream sequence.
And also to answer your
Spoiler.
question, Ethan, no, I'm not drunk. I'm working on it.
Yeah, we didn't have time to drink beforehand.
I'm with you.
There's no pre-gaming here.
Hey, and that is a good segue over to you, my good friend. Introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Mains. I play Serenity, and yeah, I don't know what's gonna go happen today.
Does
I'm just
Serenity
gonna
ever
continue
know what's going to
drinking
happen? All right. Down below,
Serenity does what she wants, or who she wants.
Or what?
and down
Exactly.
below, afterwards, we have the wonderful Monk Rogue, everybody's favorite character, lovable idiot. We have Vicky playing.
Hey, I'm Vicky. I play Andy. He is a Tabaxi monk rogue. I think it's debatable whether he's everyone's favorite character, but he's certainly mine.
Favorite lovable idiot.
Yeah.
you gotta love the goofball.
Yeah.
Yo, Brian, by the way, Ethan in the chat says he's drinking out of the same mason jar. You guys
Ball?
are twinning.
They're very common.
Still.
It's a
After
very
that,
common mason jar. It used to be Shine.
after that, we have, again, with his camera off because we can hear him so much better. We can't see it right now, but the majestic beard himself.
Majestic beard. Coming down off a weekend of hanging out with the paladin and the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a good
Tell
weekend.
me
And-
how I play Wind Whisper.
Wind Whisper's sitting at how many hit points right now, Callum?
1.
Will Wind Whisper ever be at full HP ever again?
I don't know what this problem is like.
Hopefully
guys.
not.
There's
Going into
plenty of-
UnderXysta with a party member at 1 hit point? Are you fucking serious?
And 2 levels of exhaustion because I thought since the last time, I'm like, Wind Whisper died twice in a matter of like an hour and a half. He should probably have a level of exhaustion at least even 2 sounds appropriate for the stress his body's been through. So yeah,
What exactly does the second level of exhaustion do?
half movement, and then first level is disadvantage on ability checks.
And he's just gonna carry Wind Whisper. It's okay.
You be a freak, I'll be the mighty.
Ethan just said in the chat he just sneezed and Wind Whisper died.
I think that that I personally, Vicky, should have 2 levels of exhaustion because of the stress of our party members.
Yep. And then last but not least, We got the Liberator has called upon for a meeting today, the one and only Andrew.
What up, guys? I'm Andrew. I play Delson Marathas, aka the Shadow, Zista City's resident vigilante. Yeah, he's intrigued as to what the Liberator wants with him.
Yeah.
And is also getting ready for arguably the biggest heist of his vigilante career, so... do this.
Yeah. It's only 2 days away, guys.
Right? Isn't it the biggest in Zistalian history? I think?
Probably.
It's the most ambitious heist in Stallion history.
Oh.
So that's 2 nights away, guys, meaning probably, 15 more sessions with you guys?
At
If
least
not
15,
more.
if not 30.
And then the last but not least in the party, we have the newly formed pact character. We have Paul, the middle-aged man who just decided to join this heist because it sounded like a way to spice up his life. And now he has a patron, level 1 warlock. All right, but yeah, this is our Nat Disaster
It's annoying to
crew.
me that he had to take level 1 in Warlock and not Rogue. Does he get a level at the end of the night, too?
No.
Please!
It's just level 1 right here.
Come on!
If he leveled up the way for survival from what you guys, he'd probably be almost caught up with you guys, and I'm not having Paul be a level 5 overnight, something like that.
No, he should be like a level 2.
He's level 1. He was gonna get level 1 at the end of the heist if you guys didn't looking at you and was forced a pack weapon.
I know.
Yes, we did do that.
Yeah.
So now, wait, does Paul become level 1 rogue?
Warlock. He's
Or-
Warlock. He's level 1 Warlock.
He
became
he's
level
not
1
leveling
Warlock
up
when he
again.
made
He's a
the
level
pact
1
with the
warlock.
knife.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's why I'm a little annoyed that he's the only non-rogue in our heist party.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be level 2 just so he has 1 level of rogue.
Yeah!
We'll see how Paul's future goes
I don't
forth.
think you can gain 2 levels in one night. Is
Whether-
itching.
No, we
Whether
can do
he's
it
going to
tomorrow.
die-
We'll have a busy day. We'll have a busy day.
Whether Paul will die today, tomorrow, or the next day, or if he will go on to be the future BBEG of the second campaign, we'll always figure that out at some point. But until then, we have another nice session in our heist season of Nat Disaster. Now that we've dubbed everything season 1, long in the past, the Humblewood season.
That wasn't a season. That was a
The Humblewood mini-series right there.
Yeah.
And now we got the heist series of the main world of Tychorus, the one I've homebrewed, and I've been DMing for, a year and a half now.
Yeah.
It's been a year and a half in this world.
That Tychorus exists, though.
Yeah. But we'll see how everything picks off now. As always, we don't have any sponsors, but we are at 36 followers on Twitch, so we have gone up. We do please ask if everybody can follow us. We do want to get to Twitch affiliate, so we need 50 people to follow us. We've met every other requirement of Twitch affiliate. We just need 50 followers. So if you can follow us on Twitch, go to our YouTube channel, please subscribe, ring that bell, because I have to say that because the world we're in now. Like the videos, all that good
Yo, all the crap. Post on Twitter about how awesome we are.
Twitter and Instagram at NatDisasterDND. Do it up. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Thank you. But now that all of that jazz is out of the way,
let's commit the most ambitious heist in literal history.
In 15 sessions. Tonight,
in 15
you guys do not
sessions. Let's do all the fucking boring prep work for the most incredible heist in Zistalian history for 15 more sessions.
And we can let this disaster unfold. So, previously on Nat Disaster Heist, the party was split up. We had a split session weekend as you guys had just escaped out of basically the terrorist attack that you guys not on purpose caused at the Eye of All, escaping out of there miraculously without a single arrest. You guys decided to split the party in order to put suspicion aside, put cover stories together, and we had Serenity, Paul, Delson, and an unconscious Wind Whisper because he once again lost a few hit points and was knocked unconscious from touching the contaminated body of Paul for a warm hug. You guys headed over to Paul's house, where Wind Whisper did regain consciousness, did have a nice dinner with Paul, and learned a little bit about him and the items that you guys had acquired within the Eye of All. And to the point where Wind Whisper disappeared with Paul's rocking chair and sat out on the docks to demand some sort of compensation from his patron for the amount of work and effort he's put in. With his patron quite literally threatening his life by dangling it over the edge of the city and tipping it, he did agree to create basically empower one of his weapons as his pack weapon, giving him the ability to cast this new spell called Airstream, which teleported him back into Paul's house, landing on the food as soon as he had taken it out, but like not to the point of ruining dinner. But in the process, ruining Paul's rocking chair. So good on that. Afterwards, you guys had your dinner, and Delson did hear some voices from the dock behind. And he did notice some soldiers pushing a civilian to the edge, shouting certain things at him, saying he's messed with them for the last time, all sorts of things like this. A little bit hesitant at once, seeing the whole squadron of 6 soldiers with his succubus and Kenku friend just recently healed up and attuned to new items, rushed out the window to try to go help this man, and Delson donned the vigilante hood and the face paint and went on to do his duties. In the process, while Delson was trying to do non-lethal damage for the most part, Serenity went upon and dropped several people off of the city.
Threw several people off the city.
Yep, Wind Whisper threw his body into the paladins and was knocked unconscious once more. But you guys did dwindle the party of paladins down enough to the point where the leader grabbed the man holding him near the edge with a knife to his throat and telling you all to back up and to turn yourselves in. And with one cleanly shot arrow, the Shadow himself set out his it's not his catchphrase, but it's new monumental words: "You have failed this city," and shot the man right in the neck, knocking him off the city and saving the man. With people from the suburbs and the slums of this city seeing this endeavor, you see there's some children and some people cheering from the houses, but quickly realizing there's guards unconscious and some dead at your feet, you guys decided to get out of there, try to meet at a bar, as you had all forgotten the name of the bar that Rain had told you all to meet up with. You guys all went over to the Angel Ears Tavern and waited outside. Summoning Serenities quickly, ended up delivering a message to Rain saying, "Where would you like us to meet?" Then over to Rain and Andy. You guys decided to go to Andy's monastery as he had to train with Cossin. Running into Janora, Andy's next door neighbor in the monastery, the one which Wind Whisper had that morning, set fire to her desk and all of her notes. You guys did run into her, and in between her rambling on about things, Andy did break out that his friend did set fire to your desk and all your notes, and she did start crying. Rain ended up getting over to Cossin, who is over at Shyland's Breeze, a pavilion that is behind the monastery, where he does like to go train a lot. And you guys all did meditate with him for a little bit after he did speak a little bit about bonds and bonding with items to try to understand their karma. Andy, upon trying to meditate with the hourglass, the snake-shaped hourglass that you'd found in Kinsel's shop earlier in the day, you did try to spend the hour not only short resting, but trying to bond with this item. And in the process, did hear bones clattering together, almost in a way that you would interpret as laughing. Cossin letting you know you were on your way to understanding the karma of this thing. You guys went on to start training, as Rain also started reading through the notes of Fafine Uliamis and learning just how fucked up her obsession with the queen is.
That will be stuck in her brain for all of time. She's years from now, she'll be instructing an army how to deal with something, and just a thought about, like, I want her to blah. He's like, ah, fuck.
And as Andy went to go,
Intrusive thoughts will never leave.
and as Andy went to go train with Kasin, Janora and Rain watching from the sidelines, in the middle of the fight, a bolt of lightning fell from the sky, splitting in 4 directions around the city. One of them striking down right where Andy and Kasin were standing on top of an archway, knocking Andy to the side and Kasin staying up there, where this large cloud storm-like elemental form came down there, speaking some words only Kasin could understand. And a fight ensued with the party. After some very close calls and Janora almost dying, you guys were able to subdue and dissipate the storm elemental and called for help, so there were no casualties. Going back to the monastery, Andy and Janora went into the whirlpool that exists underneath the Infinite Creation statue that does pull from the multiverse and they seem to have some sort of healing factors. And as you guys were resting up from your injuries, Rain sat and meditated with Kasin, telling a little bit about the endeavors that have gone on in the past couple days, admitting that she feels things recently have made her feel like she is something more. And Kasin talks about all the things that can be learned from learning your karma and connecting with others, forming bonds between people, objects, and things. And with some words of wisdom and an assurance that Kasin has Rain's best interest in as well, as long as Rain tries her best to keep Andy alive. You guys, Andy and Rain, left to go back to nature's rainforest call, where you guys had some late lunch all by yourself, talked about the events of the day, and some mixed feelings about Wind Whisper and all of his endeavors. With a Quickling rushing in as soon as you guys finished to deliver a message, asking from Serenity, asking where everybody should go to meet up, and finding out that they had all gone to Angel Ears Tavern instead, or outside. She quickly told the Quickling to return back and say go to Dave's Tavern. So the Quickling ran out of the bar, with Rain and Andy running off into the city streets.
I
Still,
think we ran off, but
walking off into the city streets to try to get to Dave's Tavern. And the other parties sitting outside a bench outside the Angel Ears Tavern, waiting for a response back. That is where we ended off on last week's session. So, Serenity. Several minutes go by until your Quickling does return and come up to you, and she says, yeah, she said go to Dave's Tavern. Do you know where that is?
Not off the top of my head.
I'd say Paul and Delson can roll history checks since you two lived in the city your whole life.
Okay. History. That is a 21.
21. So Paul's just like, Dave's Tavern, I believe that was in the Lower West Side, and then at the same year, like, you have kept up with a lot of things. Dave's Tavern in the past year has actually been relocated and rebranded with a new name. It's actually over in Fortune's Plaza now. It's called the Shot at Fortune.
Shot it, yeah. If I remember
recently
correctly,
removed the words in the
If
bottom.
I remember correctly, Dave's Tavern is now Shot at Fortune Tavern.
Oh yeah. I think I remember hearing that. It's not too far a walk. And I'll lead the way.
Paul's leading. How interesting.
I'll follow behind Paul.
Paul leads the party. Is anybody carrying Wind Whisper, or is Wind Whisper walking?
Just dragging his feet.
Yeah, seriously, I'm half movement speed, guys. Like, I'm going to hold everyone up.
You guys start walking along, and then you realize Wind Whisper limping behind you all.
It looks real sad.
I'd offer to help, but I don't want to hurt you again. He puts his hands up defensively.
I just put my arms up like, carry me.
Fine, you want me to try and carry you?
I just nod sadly and like make the little like a pouty lip. I'm like, please.
I'm gonna half squat in front of him, so like he can just get on my back.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, piggyback ride. Fucking
All right.
right.
And as Wind Whisperer gets a piggyback from Serenity, you guys head off towards the shot at Fortune. From all of your locations in the city, this was a little bit past 11 o'clock when this happened. From your location in the city, with a brisk pace, both of you guys can get there in probably about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So you guys spend your time getting there, and for the sake of brevity, almost simultaneously come outside. You guys are in the main strip of Fortune's Plaza, the center one that leads over towards where the Overlook at Suspended Superiority. And you guys do see the Shot at Fortune Tavern. It's a tavern that does have like a wooden plank board on it, and it looks like a shot is being pulled back and stars are falling out of it afterwards. Lights are on still inside. The door is open, and there is some noise going on inside right now as well. But you guys are standing outside as you see the opposite party coming over from across on the opposite side of the street.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tap
wait.
Serenity on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
I'm just gonna gesture to like have you put me down.
I'll put you down.
Thank you.
All right, and Andy and Rain, you see the party coming across from on the opposite side of the street. The Delson's side of the party is on the side where Fortune, the shot at Fortune is. So you guys are coming up from across the opposite side of the street.
Is it visible that Wind Whisperer looks way worse off than we left him?
Oh yeah, he's got like a hunch right now. He's like holding. You see him take a few steps, and he like hobbles forward. His little Kenku bird leg looks like it might be twisted at one corner.
Andy like looks up into the sky and it's just like, I thought I told you I'd kick your ass. Do you want me to kick your ass?
You can kill him again instantaneously. Just
not Wind Whisperer.
We
I'm
were
speaking
trying to
Serenity.
keep him alive. He went out and
No,
yeah.
I'm gonna turn to Andy, and I'm gonna also walk back in front of Serenity, and I'm gonna be like, "We're heroes, right?"
What did you say? Are
We
you
saved-
slurring?
He said, "We're heroes."
We
Okay.
saved the guards from pushing someone off the edge.
Oh.
Yeah, it was honestly amazing to see the shadow at work.
That's
like
a little high profile, but
You
okay.
had an interaction with the gods.
Ooh.
not the smartest thing I know.
they were gonna push a man
Are
off the
the
edge.
witnesses?
No.
No.
Delson,
All
roll
the
a-
guards are
lying.
Delson,
They were
roll a
straight up
deception
lying.
check.
There were
I'm
two
rolling an insight
witnesses.
check on this shit.
Natural 20.
Ooh, what does that put it at as a total
Ah,
after your
damn.
deception?
I will
16.
check as well.
23.
I don't know, nothing.
What'd you get, Andy?
You don't know nothing.
I rolled a 16,
Okay.
Which
which is a pretty good roll, but
Which
Insight
check
Rain.
okay. Okay, it's only a 10.
I think yeah.
10. Delson looks at it with a very firm and serious look at his face. No. And you believe him.
I'm like, okay, good. I
okay,
don't
so
care.
how did he end up like this?
He
He
That-
kind of, and Paul looks worried. He's just like, you gotta stop doing this, man. And he looks down and he's like, he ran right at him.
Do you have like a
I think he might have a death wish.
yeah?
he was if I might say so myself.
Like, I just smile and I like look down, kind of at the hilt of my rapier, and I'm like, feels like flying. And then I just kind of like look back up.
If I do say so myself, our Kenku friend was very brave.
I'm gonna look at Andy and be like, well, good to know that he's also a danger to himself. And I'm gonna walk into the tavern.
I will follow Rain.
Okay. You two enter the tavern, and what you do see inside, from what you guys do know, this tavern is frequented now at this new location by visitors to the city, as well as those around the Fourth Ring. You can see not as busy as normal, but there still is a lot of tables filled with rowdy citizens of all different races. You can see people wearing garbs not from the city, so you know they are far off travelers. The stairs on the side leading upstairs to the inn itself. And you can see Dave, the human male, just sitting at the actual bar itself. You can see his hair kind of like falling in front of his face, and he does the whole like to like blow it out
Very
to the side.
tired, probably.
And somebody comes up to him, and he's just like, yeah, here you go. And he starts pouring some shots. Nobody comes to greet you guys.
I'm gonna just
Brian.
whisper, kind of.
What, Callum?
Does Wind Whisper recognize any of the travelers?
Looking inside, roll perception check.
Yeah. That perception is a 15.
15. Looking around at all the patrons, you can see some people that do seem, from their attire, they do look like they're probably, some of them are sailors of some sorts, but none of them look familiar to your crew or anybody you've seen before.
Okay.
And Rain, what do you do?
I'm going to whisper to myself. I miss old Dave's tavern. So much better. And I'm just
gonna stay outside for a moment and keep an eye on what's.
And I'm like, we honestly, what time is it about? Does it feel?
It's about, you'd probably be able to guess somewhere between 11:30 and 11:45.
We have to move.
Yeah, what time? We're supposed to meet the Liberator at midnight, yes?
Yeah. I'm kind of just looking around, like, I think we should head out.
I agree.
This is too high profile of a location.
Groan a little bit and make a bitchy noise.
Serenity, can you
Someone carry him, and I'm just gonna walk back
I'll
out.
carry him.
And as you are walking out, though, what's your passive perception, Rain? And Delson, what's yours?
if I'm not mistaken, mine is 17.
Mine's 11.
Yes, it is
12.
It is 17.
All right, Delson, you're the only one who does catch. There's some what looks like off-duty guards to the side of the door at the closest table, and you can just hear them talking and just be like, yeah, apparently lucky day to not be on shift, guys. I mean, there's been some crazy stuff happening in the city. I heard there was an attack on the Eye of All, and then one of them speaks in, he's like, you heard that? I heard there was some lightning that strike down part of the city right now. There's some big smoke monsters or something. Like, whew, we took a great day to be off duty. Another one joins in. Yeah, at least we're not having
What
to
are you
deal.
doing, you crackhead? No. Gallifrey was just kneading the floor and came in running like she owned the place. You know, cat things.
And you can hear another one who's just like, and yeah, the storm raised it up ahead, and all this crazy stuff we're hearing from Ladris too about the shadows they're having to deal with. God, Keith Ellis may be angry at the city or maybe the whole kingdom. And that's the last before you do catch out the door.
All right.
Oh yeah, we haven't mentioned what we did. We haven't.
Yeah, it's the first time you heard about the eyeball, and you're like storm monsters in the city, shadows in Ladris. You know what Keith El is? Keith El is the god of storms and strength, but that's everything else. You're kind of like,
Hey,
what?
that's Chinrash's god.
You're correct. Good job. Good. We're proud of you.
All right, and
So-
you guys head back out to the street. What are you doing, Dustin?
So we need to find an entrance to the
1
UnderXysta,
+ 1
correct?
equals 2.
So we shall go to the nearest UnderXysta entrance.
Okay, with your times frequenting there, both Rain and Delson and Andy, you know there's actually one not too far off from this location, probably about, I'd say maybe a 5-8 minute walk.
We're gonna move
Can
as
I
quickly
take a
as we
look around
can.
and see if anybody's
Yes.
been taking note of us.
Yeah.
Roll
in
a
this
percep-
area.
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, can I make that same perception
say-
check too?
18.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got perception. I got a 17.
18 and 7. As they were inside the tavern, as Wind Whisper just took a peek in and then headed right back out with Andy, and you both are looking around, Andy, you do see a rooftop a little bit far away where it seemed like there was a figure. Seemed like there was the colors very much blue and yellow mixed in with it. Just on the rooftops itself before it did see you and then backed away.
I'm gonna mention that to Rain in let's see.
When you said you saw the colors blue and yellow.
Yeah, on a creature, so like a person. I'm just trying to decide what language. I'm gonna do that in Thieves Can't Undercommon because I believe she also speaks Undercommon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I speak it in
Well, is
Undercommon 'cause I
Undercommon
know
its
we're
own
the only
language?
two. It is.
Undercommon is its own language.
Okay.
So I figured that way we're the only two that speak that one, so I'm doing Undercommon.
Why wouldn't you want to inform all of us?
Well, because you're not leading the party.
Also, if you
Fuck
speak
it.
Undercommon and Thieves Can't, you can hear it.
I want Rain to know.
So Rain exits the bar first, and as it's happening, the figure did dip back and it's no longer in your sight.
Okay, so you're gonna mention it to me.
Yeah, I'd say Rain at 1 o'clock, blue and yellow, just dipped into the shadows.
Blue and yellow.
There's no clocks. I don't know why I said clocks.
Well, no,
it's not important.
You still get like a sundial.
Where?
A sundial, you tie, or it's a good way to reference according to your positioning.
Okay. Dark robes look like face of blue and yellow.
It did seem like there was a cloak on.
Yeah. Seems about. Why?
It's just misfortune.
What?
She's curious. Let her be.
Okay.
I apologize. What just happened?
Which I've only said this. I'm saying this to Andy. I think only Andy can understand me. Of course, now Andy's like, but the queen.
Yes. So you don't understand. You didn't understand this, Delson, unless you speak Undercommon. But
wait, hold on. I might.
Yes, a check.
No, I don't. Never mind.
Okay.
So as soon as you were exiting the bar, Andy spoke something to Rain in a language you don't understand. But for fun, just so you know, you don't actually know, but she saw blue and yellow, a figure with some sort of blue and yellow on their face, watching from a rooftop before they stepped back into the shadows.
80% chance it's misfortune.
I'm gonna say to Rain, I do not like that, but okay.
What was that last bit?
I said I do not like that, but okay.
Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
It was a cloaked figure with a blue and yellow coloration on their mask, and then Andy mentioned that to Rain, and Rangers also in Thieves Can't Undercommon responded back, it's just misfortune, and Andy looked very confused.
Your answer looks crazy concerned, and Rain looks very calm.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper to Andy in saying the same language, like, I don't think she's working for the queen right at this moment. I think this is for her.
Okay. I'll trust your judgment, I guess.
We'll find out. We all go to jail. We all go to jail.
I'd really rather not go to jail.
I'll say you have no part in it, Andy. You were just dragged along as good muscle.
Oh, thanks.
I don't want to destroy your life.
He's touched.
All right, no, that's another thing entirely.
No, I won't throw Andy under the bus. Everyone else, I can not make any promises for you.
Doesn't say that out loud.
No, did not say that out loud. But everyone will probably notice I've been much harsher to them than I am to Andy.
All right, so you guys travel through
Andy,
the
I'm
street.
nice too.
You guys do get up and find one of the entryways to the UnderXysta, with one of you reaching out to put some magical effect into the actual wall. The wall does open up, and you are greeted by a red dragonborn who's just sitting impatiently, and he's just like, which part of the city are you going to?
Oh, wherever the fuck the Liberator's camp is, I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
Would I know where it is?
Yeah, we know where it is. We've been there.
Know where it is.
We've all been there multiple times in our lives,
Yeah.
except for
Only
Serenity, who hasn't
Vicky-
been there multiple
only
times.
Vicky has the notes down, but it's called Still Are.
To still are.
I don't care.
He literally just hits the wall, and you can see the glyph that normally people just have to turn, just and turns on its own. And he's just like, on your
Leans
way.
back. I'm waiting for him to reopen his magazine and be like, cool.
Yeah, as we pass by, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
he has
like
a book.
you.
He has a book
I
with
go down.
reading glasses on, and he's looking at it and just like, quick, get it to the rain. You're getting in a draft. I'm like, the rain's getting my book wet.
I am
Okay,
in full,
bye.
Poor book.
I am in full shadow gear right now, by the way.
Okay, so you guys head
Pop.
down, pop through the portal. You go back through the same process. Any new names or aliases that you have been known under,
Nope.
if you can pass them on through the zone of truth to enter the city. And then you guys are back in the same open area, just a slightly different exit but the same area that you had arrived in the night before your fight. You can see a decent amount of monster races and demons, devils walking around. No mains getting eaten right off the bat like before, but with a bustling around.
Oh man, I'm not sure who we go to ask. Oh, we have a meeting. Oh, we have a meeting with the Liberator.
A few minutes later, you can see just like scurrying, kind of floating low in between everybody's legs. Quasit arrives and stops right at Delson's feet, and she's like, "You're almost late. Quick, come on."
I will follow.
I look at Dustin, I'm like, that means we're almost on time.
And the Quasit does go, and it's moving in between people's legs pretty frequently. You guys have to at times like bump shoulders with people getting through the crowd to actually get some people like times watch it and stuff like that. All those little comments. But he does quickly lead you all over to a familiar podium where you can see a tiefling just looking at people. Oh yes, I know, Carl. Those last people were terrible. Oh. You all again.
You're wasting time.
And you can still see the tiefling lead who's there and just looking down. Oh, you all coming back for a fight? It's been terrible tonight. We've only had one good bugbear applicant.
We're here to see the Liberator.
And the Quasit comes up after that and like whispers in his ears. He's just like, my. Now what did you all do to get the eye of the Liberator? No,
He
I don't
heard
know
about my talents.
I highly doubt it.
And he looks at you, he looks at Philip, and he's just like, I don't know about you, Philip, but my curiosity's piqued. But they don't pay me to pry, they just pay me to get information.
Brian, is this actually Philip?
Roll an insight check.
Got it. That's a 16.
16. You can see some distinct different markings on the armor than it was for Phil last time. So you don't think it's the same Bastion.
It's not the same guy.
But do I know who actual Phil is what I'm saying.
There is no actual Phil.
No, they had full plate armor to the point where you can only see
there
their
is no actual Phil. There's no actual Carl. There's no actual any of the names that are said. It's just him being a pain in the ass because he has immunity to exist there.
I like lead.
They're not allowed to just pound him through the fucking floor because that's what they're told.
He's just like, well, you guys can always come back for a fight, though. You're looking a little worse for wear tonight. And he looks down at the Kenku.
I'm gonna say
that's only him.
Carl.
Yeah,
actually,
I'm
gonna say to Philip, since I notice it's a different guy, I'm gonna say, hey, you owe me 5 gold, pay up.
And I'm pretty sure you're on Serenity's back.
Yes.
Roll a deception check, Andy.
You got it. That is really good. That's a 25.
He looks, and then he looks over at the other Bastion, really confused, and then he goes, I think you're mistaking me with the other one.
Oh, Carl? Was it you, Carl? One of you owes me 5 gold. I know that for sure.
Then Leeds like, I'm pretty sure one of you does. Which one of you did it last time? And both of them just look at each other confusingly.
This sends Gardner a smile out of Rain.
Carl
just
just
like,
pulls
oh, I
5
do love
gold
when
out
we
of
get
his
to
pocket
this.
and he puts it on the table.
Thank you.
Like, always here to pay up. Confused look.
Good to see you.
And he's just like, Lee's just like, well, yes, anytime you guys want to come back for a fight, you're always welcome, though you're looking a little worse for wear, and looks over at the Wind Whisper, and just seeing his limp body on Serenity's back.
He's just tired. Let him sleep.
Okay.
Oh, better wake up if you're going to be in the presence of the Liberator. But anyways,
I'm awake. I just make this like little groan, and I'm like rolling my head over. I'm like,
let's go.
And he walks over and he removes the little ring to allow you guys to get to the Duna platform. The Quasit goes first, and he gets up actually onto the actual control panel. He's just like, quickly, almost time.
I wave.
While we're waiting on you.
You should make your people waste less time. Efficiency is paramount.
All of you guys get onto the Duna platform, and you can see the Quasit takes his elongated fingers and just starts hitting some of the actual like symbols on there, and you can see arcane sigils just moving, and then boop, and then it starts lifting up instead of down like it was the time when you guys were before. You guys are traveled through darkened slits of space cut out into dozens of ways. You can notice as it's lifting you up at one point, it starts moving to the side, and as you move through the perpetual darkness, those of you who do have dark vision, which I think is all of you to a degree,
yes,
can just see little hallways and slits. Yeah, Paul's just in dark. You can only see by the light that's coming from the Duna platform itself, and you can see little hallways that you do pass by, other slits and pathways that this thing could take you down. Until it does lead the party into this one entryway where it starts slowing down. And the Quasit, oh my god, I fucking hate that name. The Quasit. I didn't. Fucking the people at Wizards of the Coast created this thing. Quasit.
Why'd you decide to use that race?
Because they're pretty common. The Quasit hops out, and you guys are off in what seems to be some sort of grand entrance hall. All gray carved stones with bowls that are burning white flames in front of them are at several points around the room. Two in front of two statues that are on either side. One of them does seem to be depicting this large mass of ooze with its pseudopods branching off in several directions and many beady eyes attached to it in unorthodox spots all across its body. On the right side, you can see another statue. It seems to be some devilish being standing much in the shape of a humanoid, but obviously to scale much larger in the statue. It does sit about almost 20 feet tall. It's got curved horns that decorate up with arcane carvings that seem to be in them themselves. And then its chest is exposed with a long V-neck shirt. And it seems to be, you can see almost lines like veins flowing up. They get to the right at the section where it passes the collarbone over to its neck. Large wings with rows of feathers bent as if they were just beating something, and the actual devilish person is smiling and holding a hand invitingly outwards towards you guys all in the entryway direction. You can see bastion guards on either side right here, and in front of you is a staircase that goes up either side of the statues on the opposite end of the chamber. In between the staircase, though, there is a section that seems to have a picture, and it does depict a Air Genasi, which you would all know as the Liberator. Their hood down at the time, short snow white hair flowing all around their head. They seem to be on a balcony with a cloaked figure to the side next to her. She's holding her arms out above a battlefield that seems to be full of demons and devils, and two other, there seems to be almost air depicted in the drawing blowing around them, and also two white flame bowls burning in front of that and at the top of the staircase. You can see a chamber. It does go further at the top of the staircase and then there's actually two hallways to either side of the statue. And the Quasit does quickly, come on, and it starts going up towards the staircase.
Do I know what those statues depict? Because I know one of them's a Yakol, but
roll a history check.
ooh, that's not bad. I
Serenity
got an
wants to
18.
inspect them as she passes.
18. So you do think that it is very similar to that type of creature, the one that's on the left, the one that's almost ooze-like. However, you've never seen one depicted this big before. And they're typically only with one eye. This one, there seems to be like dozens of eyes just covering its body almost at weird spots. The other one does seem to be some sort of devilkin, though this one does look more powerful. You do know, especially with its long horns, the arcane sigils, you don't know exactly who it is, but whoever this is must be some big force within the Devilkin Society. And do you guys follow the...
Yep.
Quiz it up?
While saying out loud,
do?
well, you gotta give her points for style.
I agree. It's
Imposing.
It reminds me of home.
This is weirdly.
Wind
Because the only
Whisper's gonna
reason-
like totally laugh at you.
Well, I'm used to. I grew up in a rich family, so I'm used to fancy shit.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Is this the first time you've actually said, like, we know you're Delson Marterfast, and we know the Marterfast family exists. So this is the first time you're like, I'm rich. It's the first time you've actually said it in game to all of us as a group.
Yeah.
Besides just confirming you're just a random dude who's saying Marterfast is his last name.
Okay.
And Rain's actually I'm interrupting him. Sorry again, Brian.
Okay.
And I'm like, I guess Rain's gonna very under her breath and quietly say, "Damn." You'd have to roll to hear it, I think. Like, it would be very quiet.
Can I roll a perception check?
And Rain, roll a stealth if you're trying to be quiet with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this is pretty good.
And as I'm walking past, Brian, walking past all the statues, I wanted to investigate.
I rolled a 24.
Them.
I rolled a 24.
Okay.
You beat me.
Haha.
So only Delson heard it, I think.
So Delson, you did hear under your breath Rain just saying as she started to walk off. What are you doing, Serenity?
I wanted to perceive the kind of put the statues to memory to see whether I knew anything about them.
So Rain, what did you say?
Or to make sure I went and looked up
for him
what they were when I left everyone else.
All right. You can roll a history check as well.
Okay, I'll re-roll.
Rain is kind of like
a 16.
Sorry,
16.
Which
so,
was a 20 or 22 originally.
So you know basically about the same as what with Wind Whisper. You don't have a name to any of them. You do know it's off. You have seen a lot of even though you haven't been to the city for too long, you have seen different demons and devils, and these ones, even though they're just statues, they seem to be depicted in almost a way that seems grander. There seems to be, even though they're not living creatures, there's almost like a presence with them.
I'm gonna research.
Okay.
And you see the Quaza at the top of the staircase, gets on top of the railing, and looks down at you all. Hurry, quick!
Okay, but I still need to finish saying what I was going to answer Andrew's question. You hear Rain kind of like laugh to your statement, reminds me of home, and she laughs. And she very quietly, you just hear, same. Confirmed. Delson's the only one who's... Actually, that's a lie. I told Andy about my accent.
All right.
Wasn't even paying attention to what you guys were talking about.
Nope, that's okay. You don't need to know who Rain really is.
I don't care.
That's fine by her.
Unless you're a possible client later on.
I just love imagining the image of Serenity just piggybacking Wind Whisper, and you guys just both looking at the statues together, just like
distracted as hell, as the rest of us are very much focused on the task at hand. I will quickly go up the stairs, trying to make up time.
I was walking up the stairs as I was looking at them.
I'll head up the stairs as well.
Okay. All right, so the closet does guide you guys
Walk in and I'm
further.
eating dinner.
As soon as you're all up the stairs, it does lead you down this long hallway. It's lit only by more white flames, every so often, just being held aloft against a higher spot on the wall to kind of let that light fill that open space before it does go into darkness again, only to be enveloped by the next ranges of light itself. There are doors that do occasionally appear at certain times as you're passing through these halls. Not too many of them, but they all do seem to be closed at this time. There's one section where you do pass through a four-way intersection, and the closet just keeps on leading forward strength, but you do see it goes further down and creates other chambers and other hallways. Seems like this place is fairly large.
I hope so. She's running an entire criminal enterprise out of it, so I'm assuming there's offices. For those
Closet keeps on moving.
criminals.
The closet keeps moving straight still until the hallway does seem to be coming to an end. You can see double-arched doorway that's ornate with curving lines carved down from the sides and seem to be colliding in the center, almost like a geyser of force coming together. And there are bastions on either side of the door. The closet turns and looks at you, and it's just like, "This is where she's waiting." And the closet goes and starts going over. She starts going towards reaching for the door, and it's like, "I'm going."
I'll be right behind him because I'm gonna be the first one in.
Okay, and as he's reaching for the door,
I'll take up the rear.
You guys feel a gentle breeze start flowing between the cracks of the door until the door does open, both of them forward from you. A breeze just hits all of you like a beast exhaling in your face. And then the closet just she waits, and he steps to the side, and you guys are free to enter.
I'm going to walk directly behind Delson, slightly to the side, so you would see me when you looked at him first. There'd still be another person there. I don't care what the rest of you do. This is a moment for us. This is
I would say that was a neat trick.
I think wait, how wide are the doors?
They're 5 foot by 5 foot, so it's a 10-foot wide space.
Okay, so as she walks past,
you can walk side by side.
Is like the door carved and stuff?
What about the door carved? Yeah,
is the door fancy?
Yeah, I explained the fanciness of the door.
That's what I'm just right as she walks past is going to like with her hand brush across the door, appreciating it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
You can see
I don't know how to explain something that I just do as a person. I don't know.
You can see the curving lines that were part of the
she traced
side of the door.
As she walks past, she traces one of them, and continues to walk.
It even has the same design on the inside of the door as well. So you follow that, tracing your arms, following away of part of the waves itself. And you guys are hit with the loud roar of the crowd that seems to be cheering on a match. You enter a room that doesn't seem to have any source of light other than the bright flashing lights entering from the opposite end of the room. It seems like the floor goes out for maybe about 15 feet before it does take a slight decline of steps. In this first area, on this first area that you do see, you can see. Sorry, moving to that section. There's a portrait of a family of 4 that seems to be on the left side. That family itself, you can see one person in there that does seem to be like the Liberator herself. You does see the same features, snow white like hair flowing around, and there seems to be a young blonde-haired boy in front of the other figure. However, the other 2 figures on there, the one that would be the other parent and maybe another child, it seems like they've been almost slashed out at times, not by claws, but it does seem like almost like so finely shredded from air. And you can see little rips of the portrait just lining the floor at the bottom. The opposite side of the area, you can see there is a mirror, and in front of that mirror there is almost like a bowl of water. Beyond the 15 steps, and when you go down the steps as you approach into the room and you can see down it, you can see there appears to be a balcony that opens up, and below it you can see the top ring of the cage match itself. You can see Khan on his ledge standing up in the distance. "Oh, that was a big hit, folks! But in front of that, on the balcony itself, you can see five grandiose seats. Not quite like thrones, but they seem to be fitted with black cushions, curved armrests, and almost a pointed-like design at the top, like flames building in a fire. And the center one, behind those gold carvings, almost like flames, you can see short white hair flowing wildly between them. Over in the corner, at the top of the stairs, before it gets down to the balcony, you can see a cloaked figure with its hood down, stands sheepishly in the corner, and looks at you all, and then continues down the steps to get down to the balcony itself. They seem to have short auburn-like hair, and only who has a passive perception above 15, or 15 or higher? To Andy and Delson, you would notice as Wind Whisper does too? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have a cookie in my mouth.
So Wind Whisper does, but with exhaustion, it would be probably -5, so you'd probably below 15 at that point. So Andy and Delson, you're the only ones who do notice as he looks at you kind of sheepishly for a second. You can see he twitches for a second, and it almost seems like a blurred image of his face changes for a second before it comes back. And he heads down to the steps of to the balcony. And as you guys all enter this room, you just hear a voice. You may approach the balcony.
I will approach.
I will follow directly behind Delson.
Slowly walk behind everyone else.
What have I done to win an audience with you, Liberator?
So you step forward, going down the stairs. You can see the death batch and the cage match going below. It seems like there's some sort of bugbear fighting what looks like Drow from this angle. And the Liberator's sitting in the chair. You guys walk up to the balcony, to this part where the stairs end and there's the balcony. Where do you go? Do you stay behind all the chairs, or do you walk to the front near the actual edge so you can see the Liberator?
The latter.
I'm assuming we walk to the front and then kind of like spread out, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, there is the edge of the balcony if any of you want to like lean against it, or if you're just standing.
I'm not at that
straight.
step yet. I'm at the serious step. I have to get into the mode to know that I can
No,
relax.
I'm gonna
And he's probably leaning up against the balcony, like half watching the fight, half paying attention to what's going
Yeah,
on.
you can see your head or you just turn every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna lean like all the way against the bars and be like, "Holy fuck! I'm so tired. I'm gonna be like slouched against it, like listening, but with my eyes closed."
Okay. All right, like half asleep, like that. This is important. I can't fall asleep.
Does anybody
Not
know
half
the
asleep. Like
Liberator's
I know that I'm
name?
awake. Like I'm in too much pain to fall asleep right now. I can listen, but my eyes are closed because I need to rest.
Okay.
Like is the Liberator's name well known, or is her like actual identity pretty hidden?
Her actual identity is hidden. She's known as the Liberator.
Okay.
But from the portion you can clearly see that she has a family in some regards. You would be able to probably glance at that. And she, as you walk over and say that, Delson, she looks up and you can see her almost like pearlescent colored eyes, pretty pale face, short nose. She seems to be wearing a cloak right now, but underneath that you can see not like anything regal adventuring wise, but you can see there does seem to be almost like a leather vest that she would seem to be wearing, and pants. Not anything like a dress or fancy. It seems like she's not anything about the dressing super fancy lifestyle. But she looks and she says, "Well, your reputation does precede you, and I couldn't miss an opportunity after you seemed like you graced my ring. I do thank you for accepting my invitation, Shadow. You and your cohorts put on," and she looks around at the lot of all you, "quite the spectacle last night. I was quite impressed. And it was a great honor to actually
that's right.
see."
I died last night too.
Yep.
Holy shit, bro!
You died, but it kept you from dying. You were in the suspended animation.
Can you imagine how much pain I'm in?
You have died, what, 6 times in the past 2
Unconscious.
days?
If I was keeping track of
Yes.
everything like I did the main campaign, it would be like 1-1-1-1-1-7. But she says
I don't think
it was
Serena's gone, or anyone else has really gone unconscious in this campaign.
the only person who hasn't gone unconscious yet is Delson.
Oh,
because he
wow.
survived
We all
the
did
death
during the
battle.
fight.
Oh,
But
yeah.
your choice if you want that to count against you or not. Rain's not counting against her.
But she says, it was a great honor to see your skills on display for my city. Your deeds do seem to inspire many denizens down here. I do hope you return for more fights in the future.
Well, people need something to believe in, and I'd count on it.
A symbol, a hero, I understand that pretty well. I hope you all know that I am looked up to around here quite a lot, so I get that. And I have to be honest, and she leans back a little bit in her chair, she's like, I am quite curious to whose face resides under that persona. No doubt we have that name on record somewhere, but I am a woman who appreciates her privacy and secrets, so I understand the need to don a disguise every once in a while. But I did summon you here today for
I don't know if
a
I want to
reason,
interrupt
that is
Delson
true.
or not. I can't decide if Rain's going to be like, do I?
But
Do I be polite?
I did bring you here for a reason today. A leader, a vigilante such as yourself, Self-Shadow, and his companions. It seems...
Rain's finger actually goes up.
It seems... What plans does someone of your stature have for the future? Are you planning to steal from more of the aristocrats and give back to the undesirables?
I wouldn't look at them as undesirables.
I say that in the most respectful way possible. This is how the city above sees all of our denizens down here. And all the ones in the outer rings.
Rain is actually going to speak up for the first time and say, well, they're all citizens of our city. Even the least desirable.
Indeed, and that's why I've
They all
created a
deserve to
place
live.
like this.
I help.
Indeed.
I help who needs to be helped.
Indeed, and that's why I've tried to create a place like I have down here. But, my dear Shadow, what would you say to an offer to do something with a larger impact on Zestalian society? Specifically helping the impoverished souls who reside and escape down here to my cities.
You have my attention.
I'd hoped you would say that. And you see, all while this is happening too, you and Andy still notice in the corner the cloaked figure in the corner looks up. He keeps looking up and looking down, kind of very sheepishly. And each time he does do that, you do see part of his face kind of like shift. He has a twitch, and then it just like shifts almost like dragon scales. And then you see like elven ears for a second pop out, and then it goes over, and it's almost like they're dripping like water genasi, and then back to human. It
Can I
seems
try to
almost
see if
every
that's
twitch.
like a magical effect, or if it's just like part of who he is?
Roll a Arcana check.
Oh yeah, I'm great at those.
No, Andy, you don't know.
You never know.
Oh,
Roll
you
the
know,
die.
a 6.
6. It definitely has to have some magical quality to it. You're not sure if it's just something that he is, or if it's something that he's doing. And as he's just sitting over the corner like that, the Liberator does stand up at this point, gets out of her chair, and walks over to the balcony in between where Delson and I'm assuming Rain would be. And she stands and leans over the balcony and looks at the fight. You can look down there. There seems to be a bugbear that has like this long metal rod with like, it looks like there's a boulder on the top of it, and he's just across one of the vampires, knocks it into the cage, and Khan up and stands like, oh, that's gonna leave a mark, folks.
Andy definitely cheers and then realizes where he is.
This is like, what?
As
Sorry.
Serenity notices her the
Liberator.
It starts with an L. It starts with an L. Come on.
Yes.
Wow.
As she notices the Inquisitor get up.
Inquisitor.
Liberator.
Or, yeah, Liberator. That's the damn word. Fuck. I don't know.
Today.
God, big words forget and they go away. Yeah. She wants to actively check her out.
This is like, you got that butt? She got that.
Roll a perception check.
Does she got that booty though?
Yeah, does she got that booty though? So you said the Liberators split me and Delson, so we're on either side of her.
Yes.
Perception, right?
Yes.
That's a 17.
17. I have to text you. I have to text you something, bro.
Does she got that booty though?
That's how this text has to start. If she does have a booty, Brian, she does got that booty though. But you notice these way more important things. You dumb piece of shit. You dumb.
It's not even going to be subtle either.
Of course, it's not. It's Serenity. What's subtle about Serenity?
Yeah, I don't think she knows the meaning of the word.
Right.
Nope.
Works for me.
Not even a little bit.
Works for me long term.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
So
Okay.
Brian, this is a secretive thing that I just texted you.
Oh,
but
no.
For everything else, you do see she does seem to have a quite well-off figure. She seems she doesn't have, from your experience, it doesn't the picturesque definition of a perfect body for a female.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like without flaw. You're actually quite impressed looking, being like, damn, this woman's actually like really attractive. Like she
Like
She does got that booty.
and as she is leaning over the actual balcony for a second, and her cloak settles back into place, obscuring most of her body from your vision, Brian. She says, "Now, for 49 years, I have kept the peace between those who chose to be who they are and do as they like. But the breeze has brought word to my ear of two groups vying to shift the power here in the UnderXysta. They threaten to break the ceasefire of the Blood War. Now, if it's come to my attention that an artifact is planned to be stolen from Dai Hanada's magic cache on the night of the 3 million gallon gala, it's known as Fierna's Igneous Presence. It's a ruby statement necklace, worn previously by, if the legend tells is true, the Archduchess Fierna herself.
So what's it called again?
Fierna's, Fierna ''S.
Fierna's.
Igneous, Igneous. And then Presence.
Igneous.
And
Okay.
it's a ruby statement necklace, and she says it was worn previously, if the legend holds, by the Archduchess Fierna herself. And she responds to that after saying, "There's this group over in Iadoir, known as Beatar's Shadow. They hope to claim it, thinking it is rightfully theirs. It is an heirloom of a dominion who that subjected their people to nothing but pain and war. Something that I've tried to break here. Now, alternatively, there's Galshuelza's Ooze. They're a group over in Whistle there. Bunch of demons. For the most part, they stay to themselves. It's not much of a city, it's more of a slums over there for people who don't want to be with the rest of them. But they send, I hear, their group as well, and they intend to take the relic as an offering to their demonic lord, as a way to strengthen him and prove their loyalty despite the agreed-upon ceasefire between the two warring creatures. Now, have you heard any rumors of this yourself?"
Cannot say that I have.
Roll a deception check.
Wait, did I? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Oh wait, no,
You're
Rain,
not
what
lying.
have you? Well, okay.
You know we're
probably haven't
stealing the
heard half of
necklace,
it.
but I have not told you what the necklace is called or who we're actually working for.
You've explained it
But
as
you
a
did
ruby statement necklace,
explain
though.
that it's
That's
like
it.
From
cash.
Dai
You might be able to
Hanami's
click
magic
those together,
cash.
but you could lie without lying at that point.
So Andrew, the only things you
We
do
don't know who
know
it's
as
going
truth
to.
from there is about the necklace.
Okay.
You do know about the necklace, and you do know, obviously, it's in Dai Hanami's magic cash, because that's your whole goal for this heist mission. So you do know that. Do you still say, I don't know anything about this?
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you do whatever you want.
Um,
You might get thrown under the bus a little bit, but I'm sorry.
Andrew, you're the head right here. It's
Yeah.
no longer Rain right now.
But that's the key. This is how the transition of power happens in this conversation. It's natural and perfect.
do I be honest?
Do what you want to do, Delson.
Oh God.
I'm in control of the conversation after this point.
So I'm gonna take a look over to Rain.
I'm gonna look very calm.
This time on the balcony, she looked at you, leaning over a little bit as she asked you that question. You look over her past Rain. What do you do, Rain?
I just look very. I'm now also leaning against the thing, but facing towards the chairs with my hands just like this, and I'm gonna look very calm. Kind of giving you a look of do whatever you want.
As a matter of fact, I do.
That works for me.
She kind of sparks up a little, and she's like, huh. So, I guess the breeze wasn't lying to me. What do you happen to know about this? And she's still just looking at Delson. What do you do, Rain?
He happens to know very little about it.
She turns over and gives you a line. She's like, Storm, wasn't it?
Rain is my real name. Storm, old stage name. It's easier that way.
Huh. And what do you happen to know about this?
I happen to be the one who put this crew together, regardless of how competent they are. And now Rain will turn to...
At this moment, you hear Andy cheer again for a quick second before he quiets down.
Boom! Another person gets knocked into a fence. Oh, Cherry! Andy just... The Liberator looks over
Puts his tail in his mouth.
As soon as Rain ended up saying, however unorthodox they are, Andy shouts, "Yeah!" And Liberator looks over and then just back at you, Rain.
I am working for the Devilkin, though my options are always open. I don't have any true loyalty to the man. I just want his money.
She turns around and leans on the balcony now, and she's like, "Huh. So you're the group that Faltheum the Shamed has put together?"
Oh, that's his title.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Well,
the man thinks he's so mighty.
Indeed he does. And, well, this is wonderful news. Because I have an offer as well.
I had a feeling you would.
She goes back and she walks.
I feel like as she says that, me and Rain look at each other.
Just a smile of, this is working out better than we planned in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And she walks back over to her chair, and she takes a seat down, and she looks at the lot of you all across. Pauses at Andy and Wind Whisper at one point. Just looking.
I'm gonna open my eyes when she is quiet for a minute, and I'm gonna check to see what she's doing, and if she's looking right at me, I'm gonna perk up really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wince in pain as I stiffen.
You all don't look in the best shape now.
It looks fine.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Delson looks fine as well.
It's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
me.
isn't that nice?
I'm at 45 health. It's fine.
She's looking at the group as a whole, and she's like, "But you held
So-
yourselves pretty well." And she looks back at you, and she's like, "Though you did form the group, it doesn't seem like Delson Or sorry, not Delson. Sorry, she doesn't know that. It does seem like the shadow.
I feel like she would.
Well, she did say earlier. She knows it's on record, but she knows
She
the value
knows
of
your
the people
name.
spoken
She's
about.
just letting you be anonymous right now.
She is. But it does seem like the shadow is the one who is the most valued for this job, from seeing from the fight last night.
Combat,
Go on.
combat only means so much. If you can't formulate a long-term plan, it all goes to shit.
I do, and then I'll say I do have to admit she is correct.
Well, the Shadow's got a name for himself in the city. Have you been keeping yourself anonymous?
Oh, is she looking at me?
And she turns over to you, Rain. Have you been keeping yourself anonymous? Are you doing the same types of things as him?
Not as much as a plea for the people in need, within reason. Though times change in life as you mature and age.
Well, I do have an offer for you all as well. Now, I purely strive to keep this item out of the hands of either of these factions, Beatar's Shadow and Galjuela's Ooze. Both in their grasp, the peace that I have achieved here will surely fail. It'll most likely flood the surface of the Queen and her people, effectively revealing us all to them once more. Now, we are pretty hidden down here. All thanks to myself 49 years ago. And she looks at all yours. Now, I don't think any of you are old enough to have been a part of the Great Purge of 2173.
Can I roll a history check to see if I've read about this?
Brian, have I had any dreams about
I would like to roll a history check because I feel like Delson would know what this is.
Roll history checks. And what did you say, Andy?
I'm asking if I've ever had any dreams about this.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll a history check as well.
Okay.
Wait, what year is it right now?
2222.
And it's 2073?
2173.
Oh, I was definitely alive.
That's an 8.
Wait, how old's Serenity?
I went 150.
Oh.
You weren't in the city, though.
Can I roll a history check on how much I remember?
Yeah, go ahead.
Not heard it.
So, Conlon, what was your history check?
19.
Delson?
Mine was also a 19.
Ooh.
Wow, the two educated
18.
people learn the same things.
I was alive.
Andy, what'd you get?
Andy rolled an 8.
Okay, and Wind Whisper, did you want to roll at all?
No, I have no fucking clue. Yeah, I would have no idea.
He's not even from the region.
So Delston and Rain, you know the most about it. The Great Purge of 2173 is actually where the Liberator came to power afterwards. That was when the pipeline got really bad, and there was demons and devils in the Blood War, which not many people know about the Blood War in its whole, but it seems to be some sort of interplanar battle between devils and demons was brought underneath the city. The Queen had ordered basically a bounty on anything from down there to just destroy it and eradicate them all. Adventurers and soldiers had flooded the UnderXysta, and they were tearing through the devils and the demons. And the Liberator did something. You're not sure what, but something did convince the upper city that they have eradicated everything. And since then, the Undercities stayed under the radar and built itself up from there. He says, and Serenity, there's no way she's going to know that you're that old.
No, because I look like I'm 20.
And she's like, none of you seem old enough to have experienced the Great Purge
Can I put a little giggle in?
Go ahead. And she pauses for a second and looks at you.
Ignore the weird one. Ignore the weird.
That removed us from the gaze of the city. I can promise it was not a fable that many wish to occur again. I don't care about what they do above the ground. There was actually someone here a few days ago whose trying to convince me to overtake the city. I don't care about those ambitions. This is something that I just want to preserve the peace that I created down here, where people are free to be who they want to be and use what magic they want to use. Of course, people do die all the time down here, but it is the price of being truly liberated. Now, with that necklace falling into the hands of either Faltheam or one of those members of Gashuel's ooze, I can't promise the peace will still hold.
Wow.
I do think that this war will rage on once more in the city. I ask, and she looks back at Delson, and she's like, "It seems like your friend over here," and looks back at Rain, "has organized to help out Faltheam. I ask you all to reconsider."
You got
So what
say,
if we-
Vicky?
Ryan, can I tell if she's lying about her intentions?
Roll an insight check.
I would like to do
Got
that as well. I would like to do that as well.
Rain will do that as well.
Damn it, I rolled so bad.
She can't tell. I rolled in that one.
That's an 8 total for me.
So that means Rain's gonna be real upfront with a small plan she has.
I rolled an 11.
Can I try to see if she's lying as well? I know I have to roll at disadvantage, but it really behooves me to try to see if she's lying about me.
This dice rolled a 20 earlier. It was the first roll it rolled, and now it rolled a 3 total plus 5.
I got an 8 total.
All right, yeah, you guys all look at her, and she has an almost sincerity look in her face. Like you, for the most part, she tries to keep her face obscured when she's on the stand. She doesn't want to be, but she is the hood down, her hair flowing up, just blowing through the breeze above her, and she looks at you all with sincerity.
So she's sitting back down again?
Yes, she's sitting back down.
And
you believe her that she does truly want to try to keep the peace. Cal, what did you say?
I said, how does she not have chapped lips?
Roll a perception check.
Did you say how does she not have chapped lips?
Yeah.
Amazing beauty routine.
I got a perception. I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Beauty tips. Amazing beauty routine.
She does seem to have some sort of lipstick applied to her face or on her lips. It does seem to be some cool blue, but in between it, very finely, you can see like little bits that in her lips that you can tell they are slightly chapped most of the time. But she tries to
all Arizonazis have chapped lips. It's just who they are.
She bites her lips.
Probably.
That's what I headcanon.
No, just uses straight
grease.
Either beeswax or
not important. All distracting for what will now be important.
What do you say, Rain?
Rain,
animal fat.
Rain is going to step forward, kind of almost to the center of her vision. Like, then I have a grand idea and proposal to you.
You have a proposal from me.
Yes. One that
Entertain
could
me.
work out in multiple ways for both of us, quite beneficially. Part of the reason I'm working for the Devilkin, I'm just going to call him the Devilkin because A, I'm bad at remembering names, and B, I have no respect for the man, is I've been working my way slowly in parts of the criminal underworld. And he's a nice stepping stone towards more information and better jobs, more money, you know the sorts. As well as information that could be beneficial to you.
What kind of information?
I'm unsure yet. I do not know enough about the organization. Though, if he has intentions for me to work with them, I can then easily get the information and work against them with you. They sound like a threat to our city.
They aren't a threat. They have ambitions, but those ambitions are what I'm worried about. Faltheam, he's called the Shamed for a reason.
Rain's gonna smile like, from what I've heard, their ambitions are getting bigger.
And this is why I cannot allow them to acquire this relic from their past. It's
I concur.
Well,
From
why
the
don't we
map-
do a
the
win-win
argument.
kind of situation?
No, Rand's like, that's the point. I have
And
no
what'd you say,
intention for him.
Serenity?
My thought process is, why don't we do a win-win?
Oh, that's what I'm working
We give
on.
it to him,
This is a step-by-step.
and then we steal it back.
It's a step, Brian. You can't. Okay, you see, sure, in the long version of my fucking speech.
Oh, I just
Hey,
thought of that
Serenity,
myself.
Serenity cuts off and does that. And she
So
says,
you actually say that out loud, or use that Brian thinking out loud?
No, that was entirely Serenity just jumping in.
Brian's gonna give you this look and be like, "You're making this not fun." You're making
and she looks over
Well, it's
to
fun for me. I use my brain.
She looks
The
over to
theta
Serenity.
is what's fun about it. That has to make the Liberator smile.
She looks over at Serenity, a little smirk, and she's like, I'd rather it never get into his hands. My hands are the only ones that I trust.
So we steal it and give it to you.
Yes. Now this will most likely make you an enemy of Beator's shadow, if you've already made a deal with them.
Rangeback, that would be the point. The last thing I want is to have to look over my shoulder every day of my life. I've already had to spend enough of my life doing that, and it isn't as fun as it sounds. So she's going to continue. You have people you can hire, correct? People that, with proper information, can easily take back an item seconds after it's given to someone.
With magic, anything's possible.
And especially with the influence you have amongst the people of the UnderXysta. My thought, giving you time, place, and when I'm going to drop off said item, deliver it, and get my payment, my supposed loyalty, she puts in quotes, loyalty to the man, and see whatever information I can siphon from him while I'm there about his group's moronic dealings, to make sure they are not interfering with your wonderful free city. And after, I leave, and whoever you hire, I don't need to know. I never need to know. Deal with the problem of him having that necklace. I afterwards report to you the information I've gathered, and any new information that comes to a head will be given to you immediately.
She looks over at Delson for a second, and then she looks back at you, Rain. Roll a persuasion check.
18.
18. She looks over her shoulder and she's just like, Sar? And the man with the hood steps forward, and you can see as he does step forward, his face kind of like quick shifts from like a water genasi to an elf to almost, it seems like he shrinks for a second almost to a halfling and then just comes back up in human form. He's just like, yes. And she's just like, Sar, I might need your illusions again. And he's like, they're at your disposal. And she looks back at you all and says, Sar specializes in crafting illusions. It's much of a specialty of his, to a point where his illusions can become real.
Ooh.
White
Ooh, I like that a lot.
That
I'm
sounds-
gonna start making
like-
And he's
noise.
gonna talk for the first time, and he's gonna say that sounds pretty useful.
Mm-hmm. And then
Useful skills.
he then Sar's just like, yes. So what would you like? And looking at Andy.
Oh.
He's like, there's an options?
Oh my
Now
God.
his
Oh,
entire
okay,
attention straightforward,
turn
probably.
to- Oh man, a Triton.
He wants to turn you into a Triton. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna have him turn into a potted plant.
So
Rain's eyes are probably rolling a little bit like, My party's so goofy and Rain's like so serious, bent on power. Important stuff. The future of Xysta. Everyone else, can you make a potted plant?
So Sar looks at all of you and it's just like, your friend is always been a Triton. I need all of you guys to roll. Let me see. This is a wisdom saving throw.
Does that include me?
Nope, not you, Andy.
This doesn't last forever, does it?
You don't know
I
that.
just
That's
lost
the
my dice.
flaw in the
I
plan.
hope not.
That's an unnatural 20.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. Brian.
Nat 20, bitch.
Which is what total?
Total of a 22.
So Serenity, you don't see any difference. You just see Andy's normal tabaxi body. And then the rest of you look out over at Andy, and suddenly Andy is a Triton, and that seems normal. And to you, you're like, yeah, what do you mean? He's always been a Triton. And Sarah's just like, I can't really, I can't right now change your form, but I can convince everybody of what you desire.
So you can convince him he
So
has
cool.
the necklace quite easily.
I can
We
also
can give him a couple stones.
I can also, and then he pulls. He has a spell book out, and he just flips through some pages and just, and you guys can see in front of you a fiery necklace, the
That looks-
statement necklace that has the rubies inside, almost like fires burning out of it. And he has it in his hand. And he's just like, he hands it over to you guys real quick. You feel it. It is a necklace. It's there. Your hand's not going through it.
If
Rain's
I
gonna have to
poke
hold on to it,
Winchester,
like,
does
and
it
you-
feel like I have a webbed hand?
Yeah, no. Right now, Rain, Delson, and Wind Whisper are convinced Andy's always been a Triton.
I'm ignoring that problem. I'm actively ignoring Andy.
Dang it.
You don't even remember that I
probably
did
like-
it.
And
I'm probably like, yo, I got a fucking Triton friend. That's pretty neat.
Rain's
No wonder
so
he didn't
focused
die when we were
separately.
going underwater.
Mhm. And he's just like, it's still in his face. He's like twitching, and you can see his eye changes colors. It looks demonic for a second, then flicks back, and he's just like, it is real. It's an illusion, but it's real. It's not the same item itself, but it can be used to deceive. I'm quite good at that.
So, I guess that puts two questions on the table. One, is there ways that the Devilkin that you think could figure out that a necklace isn't the real necklace?
Of
This
course.
is to the Liberator.
And she
in
goes,
just
she goes,
general.
she responds, of course. That's why things like this are risky. Magic is allowed down here, so he has access to magic just like us. If you're
'Cause
trying
Rain's
to
currently
double,
holding this necklace.
and she says, if you plan to double cross your previous employer, it's not going to be something easy.
I never thought it
But-
was going to be.
Illusions can be quite useful. And she looks at Sar and gives him a smile, and he just steps back and says,
How long am I? How long are they gonna think of me like this? This is pretty weird.
and Sar looks at you and she's like what?
I guess that means he dropped
I don't know what any
concentration
you're
on it.
talking about.
No, he didn't drop it. He's just looking at her, at Andy, like what, and just leaving it up right now. You guys all still believe, Andy. You don't see yourself as a Triton.
Yeah.
So you're like-
Yeah.
You're not sure if you're not sure if he's even done anything.
Yeah. Can I do an insight check actually?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll let you do that.
That's a 12.
Well, your teammates don't seem weird. They gave you an eye for a second, and then it was kind of just like,
Rain never looked back.
Oh. Aw.
Not that she doesn't care, it's just she's very hyper-focused on the current task.
Yeah, I'm just saying Rain was almost not annoyed with Andy, and then I ruined it.
Yeah. Wait, can I get some?
And the
Like,
liberator.
spray-
The Liberator in her chair, and Sar kind of like is standing right next to her chair now, kind of just still like sheepishly, head hunched in a little bit. And she's like, now, this offer was for the shadow, but I guess it can be for any one individual. You all can decide that. I do have a lot of power. I do have a lot of influence. 49 years control of all this. It's not without its skill and its connections. One favor from myself. Anything you need, if you get this over to me. I don't care if you end up using an illusion and fooling Falthiam, as long as it comes back to me. The double cross is all your decision. But just know, if you choose to bring it to him instead, well, you surely won't have a friend in me. And she looks at you all, like her kind of like warm presence kind of got real intimidating for a second, and the breeze around here just picks up. The wind just starts whipping around you all.
Does it also drop in temperature?
I'm going to.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
everybody gets a chill up your spine.
Rain's going to
I'm
resist
pumping my
the
arm.
chill and
I'm
look
excited.
just
What'd you say,
solid
Kyle?
and stoic. Sorry.
Same.
I was saying I'm pumping my arms because I'm getting excited. Like, I love this shit.
Good.
Loves the
This
wind.
is Rain as a character, guys.
And as
Rain's
that
gonna
chill
cause a whole
breeze,
bunch of connections that she's gonna have to write down and be like, "Ooh."
and as that breeze goes by, you guys just hear one more crash into the cage, and Khan's just like, "Oh, only one left. We'll bury the bugbear. Take care of this last one."
I believe we have a
Poor
grand.
Mary.
I believe we have a grand deal, Liberator.
Well, it wouldn't be a deal without any sort of signed contract.
As you wish.
And you can see Sar kind of lifts up his robes, and there's paperwork underneath. A quick glance over, if you do,
Rain will read the damn contract. She's not an idiot.
Yeah. The contract itself does state that it's one page, and it's short and to the point, basically saying you are contracted by the Liberator to work only for the Liberator. You will break into the gala and steal Fiarna's igneous presence. You will return it to the Liberator and the Liberator only. Any breach in this contract will result in punishment. And break in the contract does include giving to another individual, failing at the task, or deciding to keep the item for yourself.
Rain, after looking at the contract, is going to be like, curiosities.
Upon completion of returning the item to the Liberator, the Liberator is bound to give one favor to any person from the any of the persons who help out in this endeavor.
Favor
So is it
total,
one favor
not
to
one
each of them,
right?
or
It's one total.
one to all?
One to the lot of you. It's not you each get one. It's one to any person. She was intending this for Delson, for the Shadow, but then she seems like it doesn't seem like he's the only one in charge. It seems like to her, she's been like leaning towards he's the one with the name and the skill, but you seem to be taking charge, like to Rain. And she's like, it doesn't matter, and the way she seems to be giving it.
I have a question. Well, probably multiple, but we'll start with one. How literal is this contract?
Oh, quite. I may not be a devilkin myself, but with all the ones down here, deals with devils.
Well, no,
They
the
tie you.
curiosity is not to betray you. It's sometimes you need to work with wiggle room when it comes to my type of work. And literal definitions get in the way. But I can try to work with it.
As long as you do not fail, this is a contract binding you to completing this.
Okay.
Of course, if you die, it's moot, but
Rain smiles and laughs like, well, it's all mute then. The entire purpose, my entire existence is mute. And she signs the contract straight up.
Do we all have
Okay.
to sign it?
No.
Yeah. Sar does. There's a spot for each person involved, and Sar just go over to bring it to each of you guys. You can sign it as you wish. These are names that are tied to you.
And he's just gonna draw a pen on his hand and go thunk.
I cannot read or write. So.
Hands it over to Delson. Delson, what do you write on the contract? Do you write Shadow?
Delson Marthas.
You really write Delson Martifast. Perfect. That's good for me.
She already knows who I am. Doesn't really matter.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
This is thank you so much. You just love setting stuff up for me.
She hands it over.
You all already know who I am.
She hands it over to
This is
Serenity
good long
next.
term. I need you as Delson and as the Shadow.
Sar brings it over to Serenity next.
Serenity's gonna sign Serenity, but in the eye, it's gonna be heart.
Okay. Brings it over to then Andy and Wind Whisper, who are next to each other.
So I'll be like, I can't read or write.
Sar kind of looks. Sar looks at you for a
Andy.
second. His face kind of like shifting a little bit. It looks like the fact that you can't read or write kind of breaks him for a second.
Can you do like a thumbprint kind of thing, or like a?
No, I can write
Do his
Andy for you.
Let's paint his toe beans.
I could put my toe beans if that's true.
I'll ink your toe beans.
Whisper,
It does have an
ink this. Ink in the
It
toe
does have-
beans.
It does have a little ink little not quill and ink, whatever the fuck it's called that the ink's in. I forgot.
Ink pad.
Inkwell?
Inkwell.
Yeah, inkwell. Thank you. I couldn't think of that word. And Wind Whisper writes his name, and then Andy, if you do want, you can put it on your paws and
Just
Yeah,
use the thumb.
I put it on my paw. Just go.
and it covers half of the names of the actual contract.
Sorry.
And Sar
Let's hope
just
that works
shakes-
out even better in our technicalities.
Shar looks at it and just.
Does anybody
hands-
have a tissue or something?
hands it back to the Liberator. Also, everybody who looks at Andy as he's doing that sees webbed fingers with ink just completely covering all of his trait and
Andy.
form.
Yeah.
Andy,
Uh-huh.
do you think there's enough ink on that to ink my sleeve black on my coat?
I mean, I could put a handprint on it. Do you want that?
Fucking yes.
Okay.
Okay. And then Sar walks over and hands it over to the Liberator, who takes it and reads it over real quick and just looks at the paw print for a second, but just looks over the name and just like, looks back at Delson. Well, I'm glad we're being open here today. Very well.
From my understanding, you already know what's under the hood.
Like I said,
It's so fun.
and she says, like I said, I had access to it, but I respected your privacy. But knowledge is power. And she looks at you and just takes it and folds the paper. She's like, very well. Well, I'm glad that you all... It worked out in my favor. I was a little bit worried with 2 days to the gala, but it seems like you guys have been trying to figure this out for a little bit of time. Do you guys already have your ins?
We've already worked out most of them, though. Any help is always appreciated.
So anyway, you can help us
Without expending
gain
said favor.
Oh, hey, what did Paul write down?
Oh yeah, Paul's here.
Paul do be here though.
I love you, Brian, so much. That's my favorite thing that's ever happened in a session. I was
Paul just
Kester
put a
here I
question
forgot
mark.
about. Fuck.
Paul's been just at the back of the room at the top of the stairs, just watching the fight in the distance. And then
So
she's just like,
Paul's probably really overwhelmed. We dragged him the first time ever to the UnderXysta, really.
yeah, he's looking
No,
down at
oh,
the
yeah,
fight.
it is.
He's looking at the fight with the spectacle and amazement. And the Liberator cocks her head a little bit, not even looking past the chair, but she's like, I was wondering who that is. Is that also one of yours?
Yes. Rangerback, yes, he answered the ad. I don't know if that was a good thing or not.
We're all surprised he survived this long.
Paul's just
I
like,
like him.
oh my god, I've never seen a fight like that. He runs down to the balcony, and you can see at the same time Khan's just like, oh, bear knockout! And you can just see this bugbear, super hairy with the thing just raging and just cheering in the air with his thing. The crowd rages, and Paul's like, oh, what a fight, don't you know? And Liberator just looking over, just like, he's part of your operations. Looking back and forth between Rain
You
and
probably
Delson.
can physically. She can see the physical pain in Rain's face of, yes, he is. Please save me from my own existence.
She takes out the contract and she folds it and hands it to Sar and be like, very well. Well, I can't have any loose ends.
I wouldn't have him sign it.
He doesn't need to sign it.
He won't
If
know
anything, he'll be
anything
dead
any
by
better.
tomorrow.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. That wasn't good. That was...
I'm trying to
Yes,
persuade as
4.
well.
So you guys technically
That's
together.
a 24.
Okay.
She
That'd be wrong
folds it
at-
out. She seemed like she was handing over to Sar, and she looks back at both of you
It's
and
like,
be like,
I wouldn't.
"Yeah, we don't need any fools making deals with me." And she puts it away.
I would concur.
You already
I'm
have
like,
one.
wait, no. When she says that,
We
I'm
have
gonna
enough.
stop pumping my arms because I've
It's a
probably
spray
been
bottle.
pumping my arms the entire time. I'm gonna be
One
like,
at a time. One at a
nothing to me. I'm trying to
one at a time, guys. I'm hearing 5 people all saying what they're saying. What is going on?
Oh, mine was a joke.
Oh, I said you already hired one and raised my hand.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
When Whisper, did you say anything too? Because you were speaking.
yeah, no, I was gonna be like, stop pumping my arms at the breeze and just go, did you want me?
The Liberator looks back at Delson and Rain and to be like, are those two capable? They seemed enough in the fight, but
They're quite
Seems
capable
like-
of the jobs they've been hired for.
well, you better all not fail me.
I have no intention of failing. Failing is for the weak.
Or the ill-prepared.
And I will look at her and say,
I'm gonna nod again at what Rain says and repeat it in Rain's voice.
Failings
then
for the weak. Failings for the weak.
She looks at everyone. She's like, I've failed a few times before, but I will never do it again.
Rain probably has
what
a really
does she
weird.
mean by that, Brian?
Roll an insight check.
You got it, buddy.
Rain's probably gonna have a really weird smile after she says that. Like, I can't describe,
23.
but like, like in a movie, you're saying when someone smiles, like, and you just look at them like, oh wow, you're noticing something that none of the rest of us could ever fucking fathom. Like, that's the kind of smile she's like, like.
May be dumb, but I'm insightful. I do have insight.
I guess I should
I'm
point
gonna
out
be
during
kind
this
of a-
entire time, Rain was probably talking in not her fancy accent, but more her closer to common accent.
I figured.
I'm not that step of my conversations with the Liberator, of her knowing that I might be from a Zistalian high society. We'll work towards that.
It might not be wise.
We'll work towards those goals when they become beneficial to both of us.
Oh, Brian, also to your question in the text response, you're not exactly sure. It is also Serenity's never seen
No,
that.
that's a more of a question for my knowledge.
Oh,
That was a
Because
player
I was
knowledge.
making reference,
been.
or
could have been.
yeah,
He's making notes of something else.
yes.
Yeah, and she says, "Very well.
1 plus 1 was somewhat equaling 2.5, so I wasn't sure.
Very well. Well, Shadow or Delson Modthas. It's interesting to see a name with that power working under the scenes. But
let's just say I don't believe in what my family stands for anymore.
They have
Do you know
been.
who his family is?
They have been not working by the books recently, from what I've heard. It's a wise choice. Roll a history check, Andy.
And Range was saying, no.
Nat 1, buddy.
Perfect.
So
Now, you know less knowledge now. You know less things.
And he just lost 2 brain cells.
Yeah. There's one. And you're like,
And she responds with,
What does under the table mean?
"The night is long. You all have 2 nights until you should have my item. I hope you have a plan put forth."
Plan is put forth.
"Well, go now. I must enjoy the rest of my matches. I'll leave it all in your hands."
All in my hands?
And Ranger kind of begins shooing you guys towards the door.
I say
you guys feel like a actual audible, like, her sigh is super, like, there's a force to it. After when Whisper says that, Rain, you start shuffling everybody out.
Everyone leave. Oh my god.
Andy, you say bye to Sar, and Sar looks at you and kind of just like, bye. And you can see for a second, just his face flicks like almost like a tabaxi, like you, like your normal face for a second, and then he
grins so fucking wide.
He looks at you with your face on, and then just snaps, and everybody, you guys see Andy in Andy's normal body now, and you have knowledge that you were just seeing him as a Triton for a while, and you don't know why.
Rains just has that knowledge in her brain and goes, oh my god. Because the dots have finally connected of the sentence he said prior.
No, you don't know why. He just said you don't know why. He just said you don't know why.
You were very confused. You can assume it's magical, but you're like, what? It's one of those like your brain hurts for a second as you're trying to get it together. And you guys walk outside.
I'm attaching Andy's excitement prior to this new memory being like, Andy said something.
And you guys passed by 2 bastions who are on the opposite side of the doors, just standing there.
Rain walks out. I'm sorry, I haven't finished my presentation as a character. I'm a very extra person. At least Rain's a very extra person. So Rain's gonna let everyone else, including Delson, begin walking before, because her hair is probably down, so you can't see her ears, before pulling your ear, like one of her things, like, "It's nice to meet you," and showing her elven heritage ear, you know, like putting your hair behind her ear, begin walking out.
As you were walking out, you shove them out, and just like, "Oh, everybody leave!" And just
kind of wait for a second, kind of wait for a second as they begin to leave. Like, "It was nice to meet you."
And she looks off in your direction. She's just like,
I'm giving her clues. It's fun.
Serenity wants to leave a little note for her. With one of her,
I want to fuck you, please. If you leave a note, I want to fuck you. I will beat you to death with my sword right here in her room.
She responds back,
"No, just the note that with the one of the whistles for like clientele. If you ever need a stress reliever or someone to talk to about."
Did you do that right before I do that? So you walk. If you ever need a stress reliever, as you're being ushered out.
No. It's just a straight note, and I'm gonna leave it for the Liberator. Closed, so it's folded in half, so no one else can see it. It's written on what would become the front for the Liberator.
You might have to make a sleight of hand check to see if any of us notice you doing this, because this is a long note.
Roll a sleight of hand check.
No, she hasn't pre-written.
Yeah,
it says call for pleasure, pretty much.
It's a sleight of hand check to put it down sneakily without anybody noticing.
I'm making a perception check anyway.
Rain's not paying attention to that. Rain's like dead eyes on the Liberator, while she does the.
Oh, that's really good.
Showing off an elven ear and walking away.
That's a 23.
I had an 18.
Okay.
Rain heard the hesitation in her voice when she said her name.
Where do you leave the paper?
Oh, I was just gonna kind of drop it right where I was, so where I was standing.
So as Rain is starting to push everybody out, you drop that paper, and Andy, you see it as it gets dropped on the ground.
Do I have a moment to pick it up?
If Rain will let you, Rain's pushing you out. Are you
if you grab it, you grab it. I don't know.
No,
I'm not
no.
paying attention
See,
to
but
what
I
you're
was
doing.
further behind. I was like,
Yeah,
towards
no,
the end.
it's not right next to
Yeah.
you. You would have to scramble past Rain
Yeah,
in
you'd
front
have
of
to
the
go back to
Liberator to
get it.
pick it up.
I didn't know you were behind me.
Yeah, no, I was after the Liberator.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was
So
very much
you wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Windwhisper, Andy, Delson, Rain, Serenity, and
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul was over
I'm
there
gonna
too.
catch Rain's eye and then look at the spot where she dropped it.
I'm
And
And it clear. If you
I'll
actually
see if I
look
know
at
what
it,
you
it
mean. I
says
guess I'm
the
just gonna
Liberator.
I just go. And then
just
leave.
looking at it.
Yep.
You guys are going to be a disaster with the Queen and the Misfit Warriors.
No, we're not, because Bracket's gonna give us a very firm talk beforehand. None of rules unless spoken to.
Like,
So
I feel
Ra-
like when we go speak to the Queen, it'll probably just be Bracket and Knock.
Yeah,
Honestly.
like I think
Jinraz
Jinraz
also
will
has
stand there, but he'll be
not
silent.
spoken to the Queen or very important people about doing business.
Yeah,
So
I think
Ray,
Jinraz
what
will
do
be
you
there, but
do?
he will only just be there. Hi, you guys all know who I am, right? The disenfranchised prince, pretty much.
So Rain, what do you do after Andy?
I am not going to grab the piece of paper and not give a shit.
And as you say, it was nice meeting you as you're shoving everybody out.
Well, I'm shoving them out, letting them begin walking, pausing, letting Delson begin to walk, and then saying, "It was nice meeting you," slightly bowing, and then doing the hair thing.
And she said, "As with you, Rain."
See, I wanted, because as soon as I said what my name was, she had like that little bit of, you had your curiosity in your voice, which I love how you voice act, Brian. And I'm like, okay.
And you walk out.
Paul
Paul in the hallway as he got shoved out as the case it's right there and the two restings on the side. The doors closed behind Paul's just like, I don't know what all that was, but that was an exciting match. Like, this is an interesting place. Where this has been down here this whole time?
It has, Paul,
Yes,
but I
yes,
promise you don't want to spend more time here. And I'm going to be continuing to
You
usher
really
the group
don't.
now.
And
Let's
I
go
think,
before
yeah,
we
Barry's
cause
a nice
a racket.
guy.
The bastions kind of like hit their spears on the ground in like a move forward kind of thing. In the case, it's the closet's just like forward, kind of trying to shoot you.
Let's
What were you saying,
go, all
Dustin?
of you, before we make enemies.
Paul, that woman was one of the most powerful women in Xysta City.
Technically, the
It's like-
second most powerful woman in Xysta.
Oh.
Welcome to. She's Rain's not gonna
He
walk,
looks visibly confused.
and Rain's gonna kind of walk up like to the front of the party. Like I'm assuming Paul's in front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rain's gonna kind of stride a little faster and be like, "Welcome to the big leagues, boy," and just begin leading the group out.
I'm hoping
He's
I
kind of
didn't
like comes
sign
up for a
anything
word.
that,
And he's just like,
signed my soul away or something.
Don't worry.
No,
None of
you're
you
fine.
will have to worry on the actions of that contract. It's me and Delson's
Okay.
problem.
If you say so.
okay.
It's a problem for the. This isn't me saying it. This is Conlon saying it. It's a problem for higher houses.
Okay. And you guys are led back to that grand entrance hall. You're back to the Duna platform.
We'll get the fuck out.
Bye, Vicky.
She'll be back in a second.
Hi, Vicky.
I
So
like
you-
Vicky's little person.
Yeah, it changed. The color changed since last time of your non-image Vicky. It's
Your
now like
non-image?
beige color instead of blue.
It's because she had an
Oh,
avatar.
weird. It's always...
Yeah.
Oh, I changed my avatar. That's what it is.
Yep.
Mhm.
But you guys, unless there's anything you want to do other than when you're getting shooed back to the
We
Duna
should
platform.
leave so that we can sleep.
Okay.
For once, let's not do 30 more things before the
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's one thing I do want to do, which I want to talk to Delson, but I want to wait till we're on the surface.
Okay, you guys, the Kazet just keeps on shooing you guys until you're on the Duna platform. He rises up, and you can see his elongated fingers once more, just putting coordinates in, and the Duna platform moves forward. You're brought back to the same area. You can see outside as you are, as soon as you're let back into the area, you can see the bugbear from the fight walking through the crowd next to him. He's just like, that was an easy one. I've dealt with.
I'm gonna wave to him and
like
say,
that.
"Hey, Barry."
Turns over, he's just like, I'll be at the Brawler's mug if you want an autograph. And he just keeps walking
Aw.
forward with this like.
I was
little bit of a
implying that we're
stride.
friends.
So it did.
I was implying that we're friends, Brian.
You should be like, you don't remember me, babe, I'm Andy.
Did he see me?
What, Barry?
Yes.
Yeah, he looked at the group
By
of you guys. He saw
did he
everyone from there.
recognize me at all?
It seems like he is on like a high of his victory right now.
He has no
he's
clue
what's going on. He's in a
people
different
all
world.
around him. There's some like succubi surrounding around him. He's just like
He has
as
no
he's
clue what's
walking
going on in
forward.
real world. He's just there.
And as you guys walk out, you can see Lee just sitting on the table like this. Now my curiosity would want to know what all that was about, but I'm sure the word will catch my ear. Carl, Philip, you guys have got to be curious too. God, why aren't you begging for the details right now? God, you're such a boy.
They're better at keeping secrets than you. And she's
I'm
gonna give
Hey, don't be
Ray's
mean
gonna give
to
a nice
me.
smile to the two bastions and be like,
Lead is like, I'm excellent at keeping secrets. I'm even better at acquiring them.
now that part I believe.
Well, if you ever
I
want
can
to
believe you can
spill-
acquire them.
And he's like, if you ever want to spill a little sprinkles,
Especially
and
if
you
you
can
use
see
your
little
tongue
actual
right.
little like sparks coming from his fingers as he goes, spill little sprinkles of details to me. My ear's always open. But let me know the next time you all want to come for a fight. Your fight lit up the arena last night. You're always welcome to make a match with me.
Maybe we'll see how the future guides us and how fortune comes upon us.
Of
Yeah,
course, it's.
maybe we can give Barry a run for his money.
I think we'd appreciate Barry.
That would be quite interesting. I know it's interesting. Except after they say Carl seems to be a big fan of you all, but Philip's been cheering for Barry for a while, so that would be a fight I'd want to see.
I wish I could see the poor Bastion's eyes rolling so hard into the back of their head that they're about to pass out.
I don't want to fight Barry. I pet sitted for him once. He's really nice.
It's wrestling, Andy. You can. You'll be fine at the end.
There's no actual death.
You remember?
I know.
You remember beating up literal friends and them taking the fall for money. Like she whispers that in Elven Thieves Can't to you. Like,
all right,
come on, let's go. Okay, we have to leave.
All right. Okay, fine.
Get shoved back over to the entrance. You guys get over to one of the exit areas.
Making me admit secrets of these complete crimes I did in a criminal underworld.
What part of the city would you like them to send you to? You guys can you can either split up here, or you guys can all get out in your own areas and find some place to go.
Where are we meeting somewhere in the morning?
We'll meet at the cafe again, but looks at the whole group less of a spectacle.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what I did.
It was not Andy. To be honest, it was Delson and Rain who probably caused more of a spectacle than anyone else, but still, less spectacles. Maybe, I don't remember.
Okay.
Remember, we had the Trident friend, and we began talking about literal things that we can't let anyone else in the city know we were doing.
Andy doesn't remember.
That being
He has a
said,
5 intelligence. If he rolled a history check on this morning, he'd roll like a 2.
What were you saying, Andrew?
Well, if that's all, I'm gonna head home and rest.
Delson, come out the same entrance as us. I have to talk to you. I'm gonna grab Andy, like, Andy, you're staying over tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
He's like, hey, it's fun night.
Sleepover.
And Paul's just like, I have extra rooms at my house if anybody wants to come.
Wind Whisper is totally going to Paul's house.
Oh, I knew it was happening. And I'm like, and Rain's gonna kind of with that look of, good luck on all that.
Why does Paul have extra rooms, Brian?
I don't know.
Paul doesn't have extra rooms.
I'm gonna find out.
His family's dead.
All right.
Paul just lives in a hut.
Paul walks up to the person and be like, "Oh, this is all new to me," but it's a dark elf that's just looking down at him, like really confused, and he's just like, "But you asked where we're trying to go?"
To him.
And he was just like, "Yes, what part of the city do you want to go to?"
He lives over.
He's like, "I live in Haverwing's Edge. Could you get me over to there?" And he's like, "Very easily." And he goes like this, opens up the curtain towards the glass chamber, and Paul's like, "Magic is so amazing," and then him and Whisper just disappear up to the surface and walk to Paul's house.
I have to limp the entire way.
Paul helps you.
Paul. Do you go to get a shoulder from Paul?
I absolutely fucking positively would.
Oh no! Oh no!
You touch onto Paul's shoulder, and nothing happens immediately. And Paul's like, just don't, just, I'm sorry, I can't, I guess we're walking slow. I just don't, you can't touch me.
I'm just gonna like make a low whistle and start limping off.
And you all
It's like a sad bird sound.
For the rest of you, the four of you, Serenity, you would
Serenity's
know
going on her
that
own.
Fortune Skyward is where you would want to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm going my normal place.
Have
And you
fun,
head back.
Serenity. Have a good night.
You head
Rain
back
I'll
to your
try.
place.
I'm gonna make some money.
We'll be going to Salvation's Corner.
Okay. You guys all make it out to Salvation's Corner, both Andy, Rain, and Delson. You're in the streets. The rain seems to be slowing down at this point. The storm is still above. You guys are in an alleyway right now. Not too far from where the cafe is.
Is the cafe
you
still
can
open
see-
this time?
No,
Darn.
not at all. No.
Breaks into the
But
cafe to talk about stuff.
But you can
We're not doing that.
see, you can hear the quiet of night, almost like the stillness of the air as the rain's just hitting everything about. There's one cart that pulls along past the alleyway entrance, but for the most part, you can see you're pretty alone. There's somebody at the end of the alleyway, kind of in a corner, just huddled together with his his clothes.
Can we take a break? Because I have to pee so bad and I cannot focus on the conversation I need to have with Delson.
No.
I was gonna take a break after as soon as you guys went to bed, but if you need to right now,
I think we're going to have that conversation after we come back.
I actually need to pee too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to
Well,
focus
we
on
will
this
take-
conversation, man.
we will take a short break after all of us have emptied our bladders. We'll see you back in about 15 or so minutes.
Yep, see you in a little bit,
All right.
guys. They can hear us.
What up?
Hello. Hi. We are back from our break. Our bladders newly emptied, and we're ready to continue D&D.
Let's unsolve that problem.
Ew.
Hey, we already
Right.
told them we're going to pee, so peeing is a natural thing. But
Okay.
none of you want to hear about us emptying our bladders. We'll continue on to our D&D session. So, Serenity has left on her own to go back to Fortune's Welcome Gift, the brothel in which she works at, hoping that there are some visitors for her night. Which there are, Serenity, which nobody of extreme importance or anything like that, but they do
Don't care.
pay.
I didn't really advertise.
They do
she didn't do
pay.
enough advertising today.
They do pay the night fee of 25 gold pieces, so you can add 25 gold pieces to your inventory. Paul hobbles back with Wind
Okay.
Whisper.
I'll be back for 1 second.
Not...
Apparently, I'm needed downstairs.
Okay.
Okay. Trying to get them back to his house. And I'll do that before I break into you guys, just so we can end that whole sequence. Wind Whisper, he does bring you over to his without touching, and he opens the door gingerly and like takes a step back for you to walk in so he doesn't touch you.
So extra.
Okay.
He's just like, well, there's if you want, you can climb up the ladder right there, the upstairs. I got 2 beds up there. You can pick either one. It's up to you. They haven't been touched in a while.
Thank you.
Of course.
That means he used to have friends.
He
used to have family.
As he directs you over towards the ladder, points in that direction, you start walking that direction. Paul walks on the first floor, and he goes underneath the ladder on the opposite side.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna
you
to him.
What?
And I'm gonna tell him. Just gonna say, "Hey, Paul, you're a good man. Good night." And then I'm gonna like.
You hear that? And he's just like, I hope so. You're a good Kenku. I feel like you try a lot. And he looks up as you come to say, he's like, but I feel like you have a good heart. Just don't die. He looks at you with like a genuine worried face. Do you do anything, Callum?
I probably just look away and start climbing with like a super groan.
Okay.
Fine.
Upstairs, you do see there are 2 beds in that area. They're pretty well kept, but there is a decent light layer of dust collected over the beds. It doesn't look like it's been cleaned off for a while. It's very much like living in an attic, like just one floor, just enough room to basically have the beds, while the angled roof goes overhead with a window right behind the beds itself. There is a table with a lantern on it in the center. The lantern's not turned on. And you can see there are some burnt down candles around it as well. There's some drawers on the dresser as well. And do you just go into the bed and go to bed?
No, I'm gonna spend a while writing what exactly happened when I traveled to the elemental plane of water, and tell Rain, like in my notebook. And then I'm going to do the ritual to bond the rapier as my packed weapon.
Okay. All right, so the hour does go by, and the weapon is now bound to you.
Okay. Then I'm going to go to sleep for a long rest.
Okay. As you bond the weapon, you blink it out of existence. You look at the bed behind you, clear off some little bit of dust, but not carrying too much because you're just tired, and then just the dust cloud shoots up around you, and you are unconscious. The good way this time. You didn't get knocked unconscious. You just naturally fell.
You take one 1
Like,
point
fell
of
asleep?
damage as you hit the bed.
you hit your head on the corner of the bed and just boom, get knocked unconscious
He's
and
dead.
get bleeding out. Paul, hey guys, Wind Whisper died in the bed upstairs overnight.
He couldn't have fucking waited. He couldn't have.
Callum, I love you.
Love you too. Honestly, it wouldn't have surprised me. Make a dexterity saving throw. Like, you trip and fall and die. I'm still at 1 health, so...
You're not Kyron. You don't just trip over random things. But
Oh man, imagine her in an antiquity shop. She's like, wow, this is pretty.
She goes into a Martathas shop with a bunch of antiques. Oh no, I can't be in here, guys.
Yeah, I would. Knock would just be like,
leave. You have to leave. Stand outside. Stand outside.
So back to the streets with Rain, Andy, and Delson. You guys all emerge out through the portal, and you can see an Earth Genasi just sitting up there, kind of half asleep. And as you guys, he just,
You were level 7 before this, right?
You were level 6 before that.
Okay.
No,
You're
that's what I'm
becoming
asking.
level 7.
Do I affect my level up now?
We will do that when everybody goes to sleep.
Okay.
In a second.
He looks really quickly through the symbols in the wall, and he's just like, "You guys are good." Just touches the sigil, and the walls. He pulls it apart. Stay safe out there. It's been a crazy night.
It has.
And you guys are out in the alleyway by yourself. Like I said, you can see the carriage going by. It's still raining a lot lighter than it was before, and there's one passed out, or it looks a passed out man just huddled in the corner, probably 25 feet away against the wall.
Rain's gonna pick up a rock and toss it towards the guy to see if he's actually awake or not. Like, not to hit him, just like to...
You toss it, it bounced to the ground near him. Doesn't seem like he moved.
Good enough for me. Andy, keep watch. See if anyone's prying. Rain kind of gives it like a look around the like edges, like I'm sure someone is.
So first, I want to do an insight check on the sleeping guy to see if he's actually passed out.
Roll an insight check.
You got it. Oh, that's not great. That's a 7.
As far as you know, he might be dead.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna roll a perception check and keep an eye out as well.
Okay.
So
roll a perception check.
That's a natural 1.
Oh my fuck.
For a total of 6.
So you are keeping a diligent eye out there.
He's looking at moths in the lantern that are flying past the little oil lamps. He's like,
you start looking around and you can see the rain gets in your eye. And you're like, ah, and then you look at the wall and you see some like drawings, chalk drawings on the wall from some children.
What do they say?
It shows, honestly, it shows like the bridge of Xysta, which is known as the Sovereign Airway. You can see it looks like they draw like them throwing like stones over the edge and things like that. You can see like they draw the little chalk thing going down. For the most part, though, it's pretty faded. The rain's like fading the image, but it looks like this has been like etched here for a while, so it's just taking a little extra.
I'm gonna take my claw and just carve a smiley face next to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as this is going on, while Rain is hoping that you're keeping a diligent watch out, Rain and Delson.
I'm doing so good.
I'm doing so good. I'm doing great. Best I've ever done.
The best Puffy Pops.
Rain's going to turn to Delson, and in Elven, thieves can't, because that apparently is our way of secret talking at this point. At least somehow disguises us. Ask, so you are actually a Modifas?
I am.
So what have they been doing? I've heard not the greatest things from my contacts, so I only can imagine a person in it.
Well, as you probably know, the Martathas family runs an antique and rare good shop in Divinity's Overlook. And, well, about a year ago, Another shop opened up in the lower
I think you
west
mean the
side.
west side.
Yeah, the lower west side of the city. Another rare goods store opened up and started selling rare goods, and my family's business started to lose profits. I asked my father if he was worried, but he brushed off and said everything would be fine. I always wondered what he meant by that, but a while after, I was on one of my nightly walks, and I was by that shop, and I saw smoke and flames coming from it, and I rushed to go help, but I saw someone rushing off into the night and decided to chase them, figuring it was whoever started the fire. With my abilities, I caught him, and as I tried to stop him, he took a stab, but I disarmed his knife from him. And what crest do I see on this man's knife? Crest
That's
of
your
my family.
family's crest. Eliminating competition to ensure profits. Sounds very high as a stallion of someone.
In shock. I was in shock, so he was able to escape, but I rushed inside the store to see what I could do. There was a family inside. Parents crushed under a burning wardrobe. And I hear children crying upstairs. 2 little girls huddling in a corner. I was able to get them out into safety. Of course, they're orphans now. All right. I went home that night, confronted my father, asked him if he was eliminating his competition. He looked me in the eye and said no. He knew nothing about it, and that I was crazy. I left my home that night. Haven't spoken to my family since. That's when I started doing the things I do.
It's hard. Rain, you can see Rain's actually probably a little... Wow. Oof. Rain probably looks a little shaken. Like, it's shaken that you don't see because she's usually a very steadfast person that's very focused. But you probably look... She looks shaken.
What happened that night was burned into my brain. I think about it every day. That is why I do what I do.
Well, one day, those children will never be able to have their own revenge. We'll succeed on that for them.
Those children deserve a normal life.
Those children deserve to never live in a single orphanage. Rain probably gets very angry at this. I don't know if I'm able to get the emphasis into her voice. Let's try this. Those children do not deserve to live the life of an orphan. To live in the orphanages.
And my family does not deserve the wealth it has.
Many don't. I just realized that Telson has no clue Rain is totally an orphan. Then I think it's time we begin working towards a better long-term plan, Delson.
If that involves removing my family from the equation, So be it.
Yes. And Rain's gonna put her hand on your shoulder and be like, and you reclaiming the family name for what it deserves to be. A name of honor like you're filled with. The noble families should fight for the people of Xysta, not destroy them and put them down. The more you burn the people in the city, the further and further the control stays within the upper powers. And one day, the people will stop taking it. And then the people who have power will be killed and will have nothing but anarchy. I've lived on the streets a large portion of my life. I lost my parents at a young age. You know, fucking random. If you roll for a random encounter, Brian, I'll stab you. I'll drive there and stab you.
I am sorry.
Oh. He's continuing drawing.
I'm gonna kind of quietly say, Andrish, are you still paying attention?
Oh, sorry.
This guarantees Andrish can reroll.
I take a look. It's up to Brian if he'll let me reroll.
Wait, for another perception check? No,
Yeah.
this was your watch right here.
I know.
Okay, fine.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
I could dream.
As it quiets down for a second, you see and Pitch comes down and lands in your shoulder.
Oh,
There's
cool.
a pouch in her its beak. Pitch!
I'll put it in my hand, and I'll give it a little bit of a chunk like a ration. And I'll be like, I didn't think I was going to see you to the house tonight. Rain's just going to put it into her pocket. She's like, I'll check that later.
Pitch!
We've determined the raven says pitch. Okay. Named itself.
No, Andy named it.
I named it. What do you mean?
Oh,
It
that's
seemed
true.
like it liked it in Pitch.
Okay.
He likes it.
That's works out.
He likes me.
Delson, do you have anything for Rain who's you heard before?
Wait, what?
Remember you heard Rain whisper saying, not saying, but what the hell Rain said.
You said when I said that the Liberator's home reminded me of home, I heard you say
It was
the
same.
same.
Rain's gonna kind of pause and breathe and be like, "My life,
You don't talk much about where you're from.
where I'm from, is gone from me. I didn't get to live the life I was born for. I got stuck in the streets, and that's where I am now. Though, Rain kind of looks around. Can I make a perception check?
Roll a perception check.
Okay. Okay, that was good. That's an 18.
You look around up on the streets, you can still see water pouring down from the tops of the rooftops itself, and there's even to a point where you can see the clouds starting to part above, but there don't appear to be any prying eyes.
Okay. I don't believe it, but I'll continue. I don't mind if it's the prying eye is the one I know about. That's fine. I'm working on it. That's Though, in the past couple of days of interacting again with those in power, maybe it's time for some change.
I think this city could do with some change.
One last thing. You saw me earlier when Miss Fortune was leaving.
I did.
I had a conversation with her.
And
I have not made her aware of our current intentions. But I'm very sure she is still watching. What I'm unsure of is if she's doing it for the Queen or not, or for her own curiosity. She didn't seem interested in the things that you'd normally be interested asking for the Queen. She let herself be distracted let me ask questions. It's either her inexperience, or she might be curious. She could be a good in the long term. We shouldn't underwrite her as a possibility.
She could be. I don't trust her, though.
It's hard to trust anyone in power.
Well, I think I'm gonna head home.
That sounds good. Be safe.
Yeah. You as well.
Hopefully it's an uneventful night.
I think we could use one.
I'm gonna walk to grab Andy.
Hmm?
Grabbing Andy from him drawing. He's still drawing a sketch.
Yeah, I was actually literally drawing.
I feel like that's what Andy was doing. He finally got distracted enough where he got into his drawing.
Yeah.
And I just grabbed
he
you.
wasn't listening to a single word that was passed. He could understand all of it. He wasn't listening.
Ranger just grab him and be like, "Come on, we're going."
Oh, okay.
And we're gonna head to my house.
Of like a bugbear on the wall now.
And as Delson uses some vigilante skills to traverse the city as quickly as possible and gets back to his abode for a good night's sleep. And Rain and Andy go over to Rain's apartment. You guys get up there. And if there's anything you guys want to talk about before you go to bed, it's like probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, but you have no idea.
I would like to if we are going right to sleep, I would like to try to connect with the hourglass again.
Okay.
Not gonna say anything to me, Andy? Nothing on Andy's mind?
Well, I'm just gonna be, are you ready to go to bed? I can like so you can change.
Alright. Andy, there's 3 rooms in this apartment.
Well, I've only been in here once. What do you want from me?
I'm sorry. It's fine. Anyway, it's not like anything's new. It's
I know, but you know, it's polite. We're not together anymore. It'd be rude.
I understand.
Okay.
I think Rain's going to go into her secret room, unlock it, to set the trap that there is in there that me and Brian have not sat down and discussed yet.
Did you just set a trap?
No, she temporarily disarmed the trap.
Oh.
And she's going to go in there, and she's going to, in the center chest that has, not important to anyone else, she's going to put the 2 books and the folder of notes from the Eye of All in there and lock it up.
Okay.
Andy probably can see into the room and be like, "What you doing?"
Yeah, I'm like, you have like a safe room?
Rain's like, "You can call it that. It's just where I keep things that I don't need everyone else in the apartment block knowing about."
Okay. Rent on this place must be really, really high.
It's not bad for this part of town.
3 rooms? You have 3 rooms in Xysta? Wait.
A main room, 2 bedrooms, and a bathroom.
Oh, okay, 2 bedroom. That makes sense.
It's normally this is normally an apartment for families.
At this time, you hear a little ring of a collar next to you, and you look over, and there's Lucky just staring in at the window on the outside. Just
you have a bell on you? I opened up the door.
It's not a bell, but like her collar jingled back and forth.
Okay, because bells are really bad for their ears. I don't know if you knew that. And I put out my hand for her.
And she comes in, just starts rubbing it. She just shakes a little bit to just get the water off, and then just
Rain's
comes
gonna lock
inside.
up, rearm her trap, and walk out. She doesn't need to do anything else.
I'll dry her up with my cloak a little bit on the inside.
She does appreciate it. She starts warm up and just snuggles a little bit next to you.
Rain's gonna turn the heat up in her apartment because her apartment's nice enough. It has heat.
You have heated? Oh my
god! A recently renovated apartment, so like
you have oil. You have lanterns that you can heat the apartment with. There's no indoor heating.
There is.
How many gold do you spend a month on this place?
There is no indoor heating in the section of the city you live in. You can make your own heat.
I'm pretty sure you would probably have a fireplace.
Maybe, I don't know.
Fireplaces really aren't even
some
efficient.
places don't have fireplaces. Some people just purely off of lantern, like they have to get oil to keep heat in their houses and candles.
Mm-hmm.
I assumed the heat would be oil-based and I'd have to pay for it.
There's no indoor heating, though.
Okay. At least not in this part of the city.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
like, take a pillow off of Rain's bed. I assume she has, like, 3. So I'll
just
take
get you
one to
pillows.
sit on.
Could just hand you
You
more
have
pillows.
pillows.
I know. I could just go and like get them out of my room in like the extra drawer that's extra for people sleeping on the couch.
Well, I don't know what you have. I grab one
I
and I
bring
sit
you
on
out
the
a
floor.
pillow and blankets.
Oh, thank you.
Like a polite
I'll
person.
situate myself to meditate with like the blanket across my lap to keep me warm.
Before
and
Rain
the
goes.
hourglass in my arms.
Lucky kind of snuggles up on your lap as well.
Oh, how many gold do I owe you, by the way? I definitely have enough to pay you back.
I believe it's 75.
I'm gonna do an insight check.
I think it's 75. That's what I've written down.
I have written down 60, so...
Oh, you might have already given me part of it, so that's possible. That's my
Ray
fault then.
forgets and tries to upcharge.
That wasn't me doing it on purpose. If it's really 60, then it's 60.
That is a dirty 20 insight.
Okay.
Yeah. If it really is 60, then it's 60. I just might have written down the wrong number and forgotten to minus.
Okay.
That's
Or the
just me
original
making a
number.
mistake in
They
my
gave me
notes.
15 gold right away, I think.
Okay. The item was 75, and I forgot to write
Yeah.
60. Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so I'll give her 60 gold.
Rain was not trying to be mean to Andy. Rain, I
No, I know.
wrote my notes wrong.
I was joking.
Okay.
Okay. So there's your gold.
Oh, I'm gonna open my pouch before I go to bed from the raven. I'll let the raven go sit somewhere in its nest in the.
Flies
I'm
up
sure
and
it
gets-
lives inside one of my takeout bowls. It's like
Hey,
on
you
top of
open
one of the cabinets.
And you open one of the pouches, and it's seems to be there's 15 gold in it.
Cool.
Spend
Yeah, that number.
all
I would love that
4.
number.
I'm gonna spend all 4 hours of my long rest meditating on this hourglass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you guys both go to
Rain's
bed?
going
Unless
to.
Rain wants to talk about anything.
Nah, Rain's just gonna set out like her notebooks and stuff out of her bag. The ones that you're gonna notice some of them are a little damp from our endeavor in the water, so she's kind of just setting them out so they dry.
Oh yeah, I definitely take everything out of my pack and let it dry.
There's some excess water that just drips out and just sags on the floor. Your bag is just a wet mess.
I
Yeah.
hang it over the side of the window, actually.
Yeah. You're probably like, Rain, why do you have like 50? Why do you have like 6 notebooks? Who has 6 notebooks in their backpack?
I mean, I know Rain.
Yeah,
I've
she has 6
seen her.
notebooks and like
I know
several
what she's like.
and several books. They're all wet. Fuck.
Oh man, you gotta get like a waterproof case or something.
We'll be looking into that in the morning.
Pretty good for you.
And Rain's gonna go to bed. Well, she'll go wash up and then go to bed.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could skip past taking a dump, I think.
No, I actually literally meant washing makeup off and going to bed.
Okay.
And like taking out jewelry that's like obnoxious to sleep with.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rain, as you go to bed, Andy, what are you doing?
I'm spending the first 4 hours of the 4 hours of my long rest meditating on the Rostalon's dust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll a wisdom check. Just spending enough time, just sitting there, I'll say with advantage.
Okay. Ooh, okay, that's an 18.
18. Okay. With 4 hours passing by, just silence everywhere. You can feel the purring in the beginning of Lucky before that even fades as Lucky does fall asleep. You can hear the rain start slowly subsiding and bouncing off the windows. And you're just waiting there, and just suddenly you just, in your head, you can just hear, Shara, I failed you.
I say, who's Shara?
You listen out,
Mhm.
and you don't hear anything else respond.
You're getting closer.
There's always a chance to try again.
You have another 4 hours.
No, I say to the jar.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
And then, as you say that, just one last thing you just hear. Broken. In the same voice.
Okay.
And you can just hear, my name.
Is your name Rostalon?
You say that, and you kind of hear a like bone breaking.
I'll take that as a no. Are you part of Time's alignment?
Then suddenly, just one more time, you hear Zitalia, Kyushi, Slytherin, Jor-El, Soren, Swift. Your goal is normal, but I will, and it seems strained for a second, defend Rastalon's dust! In your head just rings one more time. Much like it was in the shop. It feels very much as your mind is closed and these things are just connecting your head. It almost feels like just sifting through sand and just finding something in there. It's almost like you're just trying to push through something and just swimming through this almost motionless sand.
I say, that battle is over now. You can rest.
Makes artifact not work anymore.
I must defend Rastalon's dust.
Defend it from who?
You wait a little bit, and it doesn't seem like an answer is coming for that question.
I say, do you want some help?
Roll a persuasion check.
You got it.
I'm waiting for you to accidentally make a pact with this thing and be like, hey, Rain.
Whoopsie.
We have a problem.
Okay.
Don't you know you're getting a warlock level anyway?
Ooh, that's good.
Oh no.
What's 17 plus 6? Is that
That's 23.
23.
Numbers are hard sometimes.
You want any help? And then you just hear my name. And then you just hear the clattering of bones again, almost like laughter. And you just hear in a much higher pitched voice than the voice before, just Zolo!
Did you say Zorro?
Zolo. Zhollo.
Interesting.
Okay. I'll repeat the name.
You
Is
say
your
the name.
Zolo? Yeah.
Do you say that in your head or out loud?
I say that. I'm probably speaking out loud quietly this whole time.
Oh god, if you blow up my apartment.
Yeah. You say, is your name Zolo? And then you just feel the hourglass in your hand, almost like this movement. And do you open your eyes?
Yeah.
You open your eyes and you can see sand traveling up the hourglass itself, coming to the top. The eyes are glowing red once more.
Uh-huh.
And as the sand gets to the top,
Yeah.
it slowly comes out of the top and just falls onto the bed, and then just moves
He's
over
not
onto
on
the
a bed.
floor.
He's sitting on
Onto the
floor.
couch.
Yeah.
Wherever he's at, and just onto the actual floor itself, and just starts coming together in this form. You can see the sand just start forming small bones until you can see what appears to be a very small version of the bone naga that you fought in the shop, and it just looks up its snake boned area. It doesn't seem like it has eyes, but it's just looking around and then just looks at you and just like, Solo!
Hi. My name's Andy. What's yours?
And it seems to slither around the room a little bit, just comes and just bounces into the wall for a second, just looking around really curious.
To a baby bone naga in my house.
Can you see me?
Just looks over to you, just Solo!
It's a fucking Pokemon.
I'm not Zolo. Are you Zolo?
Your mic didn't pick you up.
Oh, sorry. I said
No,
I'm not
I thought
Zolo.
Brian thought.
Oh, okay.
He looks at you and just like, Shara?
No, I'm Andy.
Perks up for a second and looks at you, just Solo! And then just keeps slithering, and it looks like it slithers over towards the door a little bit.
I guess I get up. And I'm like, you can't go out there, buddy.
Just it hits against the door a few times.
I don't get my long rest because of
no.
you.
Oh, Rain's gonna be so mad at me.
She's like, I've created more problems than I planned.
Oh man. Oh man.
Are we going on an Andy one-shot adventure where he has to chase a fucking baby bone naga across town before Rain wakes up?
I think that's what's about to happen, yeah. Okay. I guess I opened the door.
You open this door, and then as soon as it opens, just Zoro! And it just dashes
follow
out the
it.
door.
I follow it.
And you follow it into the streets.
Yep.
So we'll move on to that some other time. That might have to be a short solo adventure.
Do I still level up, Brian?
Yeah,
you got your 4 hours
I got my
of
long
rest
rest.
right
Okay,
there.
that's
So you did get your long rest.
Okay, good.
Oh no! I'm gonna wake up, Andy. Oh no!
I don't know. Maybe I'll be back by then. I don't know. We'll see.
Wait, you left my? Did you leave my door open?
No, I would close it behind me. I'm not stupid. Well, I am stupid.
Mm-hmm. While
You're not moronic.
While Andy rushes out into the streets chasing after this baby bone naga. While all of you are sleeping. Rain, your eyes open and you feel warmth all around you. You look around and you see you're sitting in a study of sorts, with bookshelves lining the walls, and a fireplace that serves as the only indication that there are even walls behind these bookshelves. Windows stand as breaks in the endless lines of book spines surrounding you, but they're carved into the bookshelves themselves. An impossible darkness as you look at the windows seems to be held back by those panels of glass, which gives you a bit of comfort that they're on the other side. Two exquisitely crafted red leather chairs lie in front of the fireplace. One of them empty and one occupied by yourself and a larger woman who you seem to be sitting in the lap of. Your tiny hands are overlapped by the larger ones, but they brush against your skin in a way where the softness warms you more than even the fire. You look at the book in front of you and almost like it's something that was meant to happen. You speak out and you can hear your voice in a younger voice say, "Time's a ligament," to which that the woman behind you laughs, and you look up and you see a sharp chin with a wide smile looking back down at you. However, you look above the smile, and it's obscured, as if the darkness on the outside of your windows had breached the sanctum and the safety and warmth that you felt, and is blocking out above her mouth. The voice, same with a smile, looks down at you. Time's alignment, my little Rain. It's an easy mistake. The face pauses for a second, and you see the lips twitch, and you hear the same sentence once more from her lips, except, Time's alignment, my little Rain. It's an easy mistake. And it feels almost like something's grabbing and stretching these words, elongating them and slowing them down. A man then walks into the room wearing a green suit with a vest and leans against the bookshelf closest to the door. He smiles over at you as he notices you look at him. And you see, once again, the lips are there, but everything above is blacked out on his face, almost like it was covered over with ink to cross out a huge mistake on the page. Oh, my wonderful studious girls, he says. You feel so much joy just suddenly fill your body, and you leap out of the woman's lap, hearing her giggle adoringly behind you. You run up and hug his legs, and his large and rough hands reach your head and mess with your hair a bit. Oh, honey, I have to speak to Mommy privately for a moment. Can you go to your room and play until dinner? Your voice speaks out without any command from you, responding, okay, to the man before he says, I promise to read your favorite bedtime story tonight. And then once more, I promise to read your favorite bedtime story tonight. The voice, it almost seemed to take hold of those last words. The woman giggling in the background, slowing down almost to a crawl, and you look up to the man's face, and that inky black spot in his face lashes out to you and covers your eyes until there's nothing but darkness. Suddenly everything around you is cold. The hairs in your arms stick up and you exhale to see a cold breath escape from your lips. You seem to be walking down an alleyway somewhere among the Dragonview district from your memory. People are bundled up in whatever scraps of clothing they can find, walking by you, some even bumping into you with no signs of an apology. You walk until you find an empty crate resting against the wall to what seems to be some sort of clothing store. You see discarded garments too large for you, as well as hay just piled inside, most covered in dirt, some of them soaking wet. And you hop in, sitting into what you know is your bed. And it brings much warmth to you than the outside, but you see red droplets mixed in with the dirt on a white blouse. You dig through the clothes until you see a small goblin girl, wearing nothing but rags, barely holding on by the seams. Blood seems to be trickling down from her lips slowly, and her breathing seems very faint. Your voice once again comes out with no command from you, and I'm sorry, I searched, but I couldn't find any medicine. The girl raises her arm weakly and places it gently upon Rain's thigh. Her eyes open weakly. It's okay. I'm just gonna rest up a bit. Maybe I'll feel better with rest. You curl up amongst the rags with the goblin girl, huddling as close together as possible for warmth, until you close your eyes. And as you do, you hear the stretched out sound of the goblin's voice. Maybe I'll feel better with some rest. Your eyes shoot back open, and you turn over. It seems like it's morning, and you shake the body of the goblin friend who's next to you. But there doesn't seem to be any cold breath escaping from her lips. A few tears fall from your cheeks before you shout out in a fit of pain and rage that echoes off the alleyway walls, scaring a murder of crows that were above you, just flying off into the sky. And as your vision follows those crows, it shoots up into the sky with them and falls back into your body, and you seem to be on top of a rooftop, a much higher vantage point than before. You're standing at a building you know quite well from the Lower West Side, on the outer ring, where the alleyways line up almost perfectly to allow sight through those alleys. You have a perfect sightline of the world beyond the city, where you can see all the craters, the crater wall, and the clouds below, as well as the top of the castle, dangling in the far distance of suspended superiority. Your body moves on its own, almost robotic-like, with the actions you're taking being pre-chosen for you. You stand at the direct precipice of the angled roof and stare off into the clouds and the crater wall beyond for several seconds before turning and seeing the tips of Aramble Castle. Your arm elongates to point over towards the castle, and you hear in a voice more closer to your current one, "That's where I'm meant to be." You notice beside you there's an air genasi just sitting on the roof. Seems to be eating some fries in the container. You can tell is from Fry Queen. He laughs and spits some of his fries out. That's doubtful. None of us will reach suspended glory. Your accent changes suddenly when you look at him. Your accent changes suddenly, and without looking away from the castle, you speak in a more Heist stallion accent. "I was born to." The Air Genasi laughs even harder and says, "None of us will reach suspended glory. None of us will reach suspended glory," as the voice drags off again, being stretched to the side, and it persists almost into a cackle of a laugh, almost sadistic, almost demonic. And as you look back over to him, he's standing up right next to you, and with a dagger, he puts it into your chest. You look at him with eyes really confused, and his eyes are glowing red with a twisted smile on his face. And again, the top part of his face just blanked out like an ink blot. You shout out into the sky before the echoes shake reality, almost like the city itself is having an earthquake before the background changes. The Air Genasi leaves, and you're looking at yourself in front of a mirror. It seems like bandages are covering part of your face. And sorry, I'm moving the written script over to the side just so I can see it better. The camera's in front of my face, so 1 second. Because you sent me a document for this. Bandages cover your face of wounds. You know that they're a few weeks old, and you slowly start to peel the bandages away to reveal the fresh scars upon your face. Slowly, you feel down the new scars, and the reality of what's happened setting in. You feel different, like you're not yourself, not who you know you are anymore. You feel lost and disappointment. Loneliness begins to set in as it dawns on you that your normal has once again changed, pulling you further away from those memories that are slowly fading away. You stare at yourself, and you're breathing through in the mirror, and your breathing intensifies. You feel your anger building, and you grip the wooden sink in front of you, in front of the mirror more tightly. You can see the water in it filling the bowl itself start to shake with the mere magnitude that you're creating as you're just shaking the wood, gripping it tightly, until suddenly you hear the voices of that man and woman from the study again. They echo and ring in the water in the bowl as your hands loosen a little bit, begins to vibrate with their tone. Together in unison, "We're proud of you, Rain." Over and over again, "We're proud of you, Rain. We're proud of you, Rain. We're proud of you, Rain." And slowly, as your grip loosens, your breathing still labored, feel a little bit of calm for a second before you feel 2 tears streaking down both of your cheeks. And slowly, the "We're proud of you, Rain," as it's echoing over, slows. "We're proud of you, Rain. We're proud of you, Rain. We're proud of you, Rain." Until it stops. Silence kicks in, and you look around at the encroaching darkness, and you feel distant from those voices like something is cutting you off. And suddenly you start hearing other voices. Ones you've heard from the past. Previous people you've been with, cohorts, just saying, "You'll never be anything." You hear Leela T from the shop, "You'll never be anything." You hear Zan, "You'll never be anything." You hear Wind Whisper, "You'll never be anything." Rah! You hear Serenity, "You'll never be anything." You hear Paul, You'll never be anything. You hear, Andy, you'll never be anything. And then you look up in the mirror as tears are streaking down your face still, and the face of someone you haven't seen in a long time appears. A man's face that you know of as Oliver Evangrove. And he just looks straight at you and says, I never loved you because you were and are nothing. You feel a fit of rage and you punch and smash the mirror. And that you wake up in a moment of just fit. Your hand is gripping the side of your bed, and you see you actually broke the bedpost off, and it's gripping in your hand.
If Andy still exists, he would hear all of this probably.
Yeah, am I here again at this
And
point?
because I don't know where Andy's going, and I'll have to try to resolve that before next session, this is where we will end tonight's session.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to.
Shit.
Yeah, sorry.
So everybody can get a long rest. You all have long rested, and you all are
Level
the first
up.
people in Nat Disaster's live streams to reach level 7. That's right, you guys. You were supposed to do this by the end of the heist, but this has been so long that here you go, a level up.
We did a lot of shit too.
Level up.
I need everybody here. We're gonna roll our hit die on stream.
Okay.
So what's a Rose hit die?
So first, starting off with Rain. Rain, what level are you taking in for this level up?
She is taking one level in Barbarian. With the absolute anger of all of her recent events culminating into a really traumatic dream.
There's that one.
She's taking Barbarian.
So our first 3 multi-class class. Rain, I need you to roll 2d12, and you can pick the higher of the 2, or you can take the median, which is, I think, 7 for Barbarian.
I'll roll 2 dice. 12 and 11!
There you go. So you can add 12 on D&D Beyond to your roll die, and it will automatically calculate your Constitution
Oh,
modifier.
I have to go into my character creator first.
Yep. Mr. Maines, what level are you taking in?
I'm taking a level in Bard.
So we're having
I
another
rolled
multi-class.
2d8.
So there's no straight rogue anymore. Everybody is a multi-class. So yeah, you can roll 2. No, actually, yes,
It's
yes.
a d8.
Yep. Sorry, I was remember
I got the
your
7.
first level 1, you automatically get the highest, but that doesn't work with multi-class. So yeah, you get 7. So go into your roll die, add 7. It'll automatically do your con mod, add it in. Andy, what are you doing?
Monk.
4th level monk. Okay. Yeah. So you have 2d8 to roll.
I rolled a 6 and another 6.
Hey, it's above the median.
Yep.
So you can do the same. Callum.
Yes, sir.
Wind Whisper. Rah, what level are you taking in?
Warlock.
4th level Warlock. Okay, you need to roll those 2d8.
Ooh, an 8 and a 1.
8 and a 1. Hey, there you go. You got the 8. So you can add that and your con mod and everything else we've talked about. That will be in the next stream of the session and everything. We'll talk about that and get your correct HP afterwards.
Do I get all of my hit dice back or just half my hit dice?
You on a long rest, you get half of the hit die, half of your hit die maximum back. So, how did you use all of your hit die in the past?
Yeah, I fucking used all of them.
So
Are you kidding me? Of course I did.
You get half rounded up. So now that you're level 7, you'll get 4 hit die back.
Okay.
And last,
so they're all D8, so it doesn't matter.
And last but not least,
hi, baby.
The man who delved into his name and his backstory tonight, Nelson Martithas. What level are you taking?
I'm taking a level in Rogue.
Okay. So we're going to get a 5th level fighter, 2 2nd level rogue here. I need you to roll 2d8. Or you can take the median of 5 if you wanted to.
I will roll 2d8.
Okay.
You like to roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
Ooh, nice. I rolled a 7 and a 5.
Cool. So you get
Yeah!
7. And add that to the rolled dice section on D&D Beyond, and it will automatically
for some
calculate your
reason-
con mod.
What's everybody's final
So
hit
I'm just
point?
so I'm just adding the
Give me a
7.
60.
Yes, if you go into where you manage your levels and you do manage HP, on
Yeah.
rolled die, just add 7. It'll automatically put your con mod in and any other bonuses for feats and such.
Mine's
Got it.
not working properly.
Oh,
Did you save it?
Yeah.
Okay.
my total.
What
is
did it
now
say
60.
before you put in the rolled die?
It's just referring back to the original one. That's all it's doing.
Oh.
For some reason, it won't take in my new rolled HP. It's just like, no. You
So,
don't get that.
Andy, what's your new max hit points at?
My new max is 63.
Okay.
Let's see if it works this time.
Callum, without barring all the other bonuses and everything, which we'll talk about, what's your max with how you rolled?
Well, I added all of the bonuses, so it's at 76 right now.
Okay.
Wow.
For everybody else, there's other reasons why he gets extra HP. We'll delve into that next session. That's gonna be fun.
I'm gonna be straight up amphibious, motherfuckers.
Split.
Damn.
Serenity, what is your max at?
60.
60. Okay. And Delson?
74.
74.
Mine will be
God.
62, but it won't let me save it.
Wait. Does that mean I've got literally the highest HP?
Yes.
You do. Yes, you are 2 higher than me.
That's fucking beautiful.
For reasons that we will delve into next time as Wind Whisper.
Delve.
That's gonna be fun.
Wind Whisper officially has the most hit points out of any character.
And Wind Whisper is still gonna be going down more than anybody else.
I
out of
hope he
any of our
doesn't.
games, because he's higher than Nock is right now. Nock has 71 and she's only level 6, so once she's level 7, she'll probably surpass it.
So,
Oh yeah, no, most certainly.
Congratulations, guys.
Brian, make that cantrip for me, please.
I will have that
Thank
by
you.
next session. But so 16 sessions, well, technically 17 sessions, but 16 canonical sessions. And you guys have finally finished day 3, which technically 2.5 because of session 1. Good job, guys. You're averaging 8 sessions a day.
So Brian also
That's not that bad. Fuck off.
So we have one more day until the day of the gala. So I'm expecting 8.
16?
At this rate, you'll be at session 24 before the day of the gala.
If it's 8
you'll
sessions a
probably
day,
be
it's 16 sessions.
Yeah, yeah, to get to the end of everything. By the end of the next day, you'll probably be early 20s. I don't know how much more things you guys have to do on this day, but we'll see.
We can do
we're
everything.
gonna have a super secret Andy section.
Which is a date.
We're gonna have
yep.
like 2 in a row because you have the date too. You have the date and chasing a bone naga.
Yeah,
True.
Vicky, sometime early this week, we're gonna have a surprise session, guys. I have to have
Yeah.
a surprise session of Andy chasing a baby bone naga around.
It'll probably be Tuesday or Thursday. Those are only 2 days that work for me.
Maybe we can
But
skip
yeah.
ahead also to Andy's date just to get it out during the same time so that we don't have to have 2 separate single sessions.
Probably just to get super secret sexy Andy session. Just like Andy gets the super secret sexy session.
Sounds good.
But this was tonight's wonderful disaster meeting with the Liberator, some pouring out of some backstories, and then a weird dream, as well as a new bony ally. We'll have to see.
And
But for that, you guys need to come around for the next disaster. We'll see you then. Good night.
Good night.